All good.
Okay, so welcome to our next game of D&D in Rapanathak. We are up to session number 130 for Phase 3, Season 2, Episode 23. And so far no one's died in the party.
Yes, that's all about to change. As we're going to be fighting over who gets the key.
Yep.
So nothing in the adventure killed the party, it was the party killed the party.
Yep.
And that wouldn't be the first time that's happened in one of my games.
Yeah.
So it is the 24th day of the 7th month of the year 1011.
You can smell mouse on it.
Well, it's just it's come from somewhere else. He'll do that and sniff your bag even if it had no mouse on it.
Right. I mean, I probably smell it third.
Okay, so online today we have Jeremy.
Good evening all. Yes, I'm playing Dimitri Dimitrov, the well-garden, grew up as a peasant, but has started to take his natural place in the world, obviously not forgetting his humble beginnings, and out to educate the world and then see that it is appropriately informed and increase the overall intelligence of the world.
So he did have a character introduced last week that may have made Dimitri seem like he was plain spoken and actually humble.
Last week or on Monday?
On Monday.
I was going to say, he does rival the Wizard King.
It does actually there's not really any need to fight over who owns the castle or something like that. As I say, because the only connection back to the known world is through Dimitri's domain, Dimitri's happy to accept a vassal.
Uh-huh.
Though he does need to seek the Duke's approval before getting his own vessel. Because the Lord can't have a Lord.
But obviously the king would accept the advice and information from Dimitri.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't ask him much at his coronation. I'm sure I could push my luck.
It would be expanding the king's realm into an area not threatened by Barabbas.
No, just threatened by Orcus.
Oh, we'll fix that.
Okay, so at the table today we have Rhiannon.
Hi, I'm playing Hildren, the Air Genasi Northern Reaches, aka Viking, Ranger Cleric, who is not quite as patient as she usually is.
And a few reasons not to be.
Oh yeah. Didn't have a breakdown like Monday night though.
Yes, we had nearly every player in the Monday night game have a breakdown.
My character did too.
Okay, so next at the table today we have is AJ.
Thanks. I feel like everyone having a breakdown on Monday is
life, imitating art, imitating life. So today I'm here, I'm playing a human bard named Makeda Aiden, or Merc for short. So Merc is really, he understands that the best way to achieve a goal is through leveraging other people's skills, particularly if it's going to achieve the goal that he wants to achieve. And that's protecting his family back in his homeland. Bit of a negotiator by heart. He does understand, however, that in trade, as in life, your word is your bond. So yeah, that's Merc in a nutshell.
And next we have his Martin.
So I'm playing the Trillin Silverleaf, a Kenzai monk, Wood Elf. I grew up in Darrakin, in the city, and my path of the Kenzai, and I have a secret craft of fire.
Yeah, I'd correct you there. I would have said that Fallon grew up in the Hollow World.
Yes, technically.
It was much smaller in Darrakin.
Yeah.
And you,
Well, at least
you
shorter.
do have a body that aged over 50 years.
Yes. But that's just,
So you're older and younger than you were.
that's fair. Anyway.
Also at the table today we have his Sean.
Yes, I am playing Genrick, the...
That's just the
Didn't know
cat
what.
saying his own thoughts about Genrick.
The Elven Wildfire Druid?
The Elven Wildfire Druid, who's never forgotten anything about himself and knows everything that has happened to him in the past.
And totally didn't carve his name into the walls of the new keep.
Yes, and who is the rightful heir to the keep.
Yeah, but like Patrick, the only reason he carved his name into the wall was so he could remember it.
He was also the one who had
He
to fully
did
rebuild
build it.
it.
He did rebuild it.
Yeah, after all of you nearly destroyed it, he rebuilt it, so therefore it's his.
Yeah.
I got rid of Orcus's influence.
And I rebuilt the
I would
keep.
argue that it took me longer to get rid of Orcus's influence than you rebuilding the keep.
Correct, he finished it in about 2 days.
Yeah.
I calculated the amount of spell slots he needs.
Though you could also have spent more days to make the wall thicker.
Yeah. Probably spent the last 3 or 4 days just sculpting his head into one of the walls.
I'm sure then you can get people to paint up lifelike for you.
Also like to point out I'm the one that fed you for the past eight days.
I'm sure he would say that's just because you're serving him.
Totally.
Elves, after all, do have a completely different take on time and ownership.
He's surrounded by forests that belongs to the elves.
Yeah, we'll talk
Yes.
about that.
Are there any elves in this forest?
No.
No?
If,
Whose
Well,
favoured
there's
terrain
two
is
now.
forest?
There's 2 now.
Genricks.
I literally have a feat called favoured terrain forest.
Yeah? I can walk through the trees.
Right.
Yeah,
And
you can walk.
occasionally come out on the other side in this.
You can walk through. You can go from one end of the forest to the other. I'll actually work my way through it and survive without burning it down.
Yeah, except I can regrow those trees afterwards.
so who wants to do the recap of last session?
I can if you want. If nobody else wants to.
Alright. To make you correct you as you go along.
Yep, I'm sure he will. So last session finished after we had found our farmer friend Mordecai. Was it Mordecai?
I believe so. As I look in the book.
And we decided to try and explore the keep. We wandered around, vaguely sensing for stuff. Well, I did. We found 3 goblin urinal rooms, multiple guard towers, an armory, a goblin handprint door with ropes hanging through it. Stefan and Genric, or who was it that actually exploded did the magic trap in the, I can't remember. Somebody made a magic trap go off and explode.
I can't remember who blew up a magic trap last session.
Yeah, somebody did in the room with all the furniture.
Oh yeah, that one. That was, they didn't actually set off a trap, they just lit up the webbing.
No, this was before that.
Oh, okay.
There was a glyph of warding or something underneath.
Oh, yeah, that was in the goblin room, yes.
Yes.
That was funny.
Launched shrapnel at us or something, I think.
Yeah. There was a guard tower with rotted floor. I went outside because I rolled on disadvantage 2 natural 20s. And
you got something for it, not what you
got
wanted.
a very,
you got something for it.
very deep understanding of the scent of goblins. And realized, as an edge genasi, I can hold my breath indefinitely. Then Martin pointed out I needed to have fresh air for that to actually work. So I went outside to get fresh air, and we found fog, which was unnatural because it wouldn't blow away from me and made my boots turn to ice. As I went back in to tell the rest of the party and say, this is interesting, the fog followed us and started hunting us very, very slowly. So most of us jumped onto flying things and went back to the secure guard tower that we found earlier. Dimitri, after telling me not to split the party earlier, decided he was going to go alone and admittedly do some useful experiments, but
Though in Dimitri's defense, he is the party as far as he's concerned.
Yeah,
So.
Dimitri cannot split the party.
found out some useful things such as it didn't seem like cold magic or something like that. We sort of came to the conclusion that it was undead magic. And he eventually floated out one of the windows and realized the gates were open. Found the 2 remaining goblins that we knew were around somewhere, as they had left the gate open and then frozen to death in the fog. He managed to then shut the gates, which then reduced the fog and got rid of the danger. We then found in the fortified guard room, we tried to open the trapdoor, which took us a minute. And then when we opened the trapdoor, the room above us was full of webs. So we decided to burn the webs.
What could go wrong?
Yeah, what could go wrong? And it went fine. The giant spider that was lying in wait died without much fuss. But Genric had to go up and put on his cloak of flames.
The Vesture of Flame? He set himself on fire using a spell which made him immune to fire damage.
Yep.
Which is handy because of the frequency of secret craft fire in the party.
Yeah.
And getting close to it actually being written.
Fire, dark, air.
Water.
Really?
No.
So yeah, once Genric had reduced the flames, we found another room that had stuff in it, building materials because they'd been burned. Dimitri returned and decided to, instead of return to the party, go off and explore the rest of the castle. He found a chapel. Which was desecrated to Orcus and was originally a chapel to Lady Sif, who was also part of the Northern Reaches Pantheon. Mentioned in his telepathic bond, because I don't think he has a filter, about the chapel. So,
Always out to educate others.
yep. So Hildren went to the chapel, saw the horror that was there, and stopped doing anything else and started cleaning the chapel, which then led us to 8 days of downtime as Hildren reconsecrated the chapel to Zerchev. In that time, Dimitri, who had found the keys from the knoll that we killed in the previous session, wanders into the master bedroom. There was signs of an Orcus worship. He found a chest that had some cool stuff in it, though most of it was non-magical. He also found the diary of the last elven leader who was at the keep. We found some more rumors. Dimitri decided the chest would go in his bag of holding. And then we found a servant quarters with the internal wars knocked down. We found a scroll of Hold Monster near where the gnolls slept. As the next 8 days went, as I said, Hildren focused on cleansing the chapel. In the explorations, we found some ponies. We found some hay and oats and frozen rats. Not quite Genrik's preferred form of rat. We also found that we hadn't killed all the goblins because there was a forge goblin who was busily ignoring anything that ever happened, and we found out he was happy to continue forging and change to forging our stuff as long as we supply him with fuel for the forge and things to bash. So yeah, I ended up spending 8 hours for the next 8 days consecrating the chapel and then going out into the forest hunting and getting firewood. Dimitri helped Genrik with the wall of stone repairs. Genrik fixed the walls. With the broom, we figured out we can travel to the village in about 1 hour, so Trellin took Mordecai back to his farm.
Yes.
Hildren claimed the burnt room, which luckily was all made of stone. It was just the things inside of it. Pretty much everybody else started help clearing out rooms and setting up a teleportation circle, as Dimitri did. He found a library, got distracted, and that was what he did for the rest of the week. Trellin helped clean out the chapel and other parts of the keep and do supply runs. Dauphin helped me with the rights. Drusila is at the keep now, as is the chef. Lovely. We talked about who we might be able to get to the keep to help support us. Maybe some halflings would come at the request of the chef. We talked about possibly getting a cleric from Karamikos. We could, but we don't need him to consecrate the chapel and thus the castle, because that is now done and the chapel is now dedicated to Zerchev. The teleportation circle was set up in the basement cell. It is permanent. It works and connects to Dimitri's stronghold, or any of Dimitri's strongholds.
Well,
And that's where we wrapped up.
at this stage, only one of them, because he hasn't done much more than that.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean it can't connect to anyone else's stuff.
Yep.
Okay, so it is a new day. Things are rather quiet. It is middle of winter, so I'm sure that's not going to cause too many problems for you all.
Middle of winter?
It is middle of winter, yes.
I thought we
Well,
had...
middle of winter down here.
Oh, yes. Cool. Right. I'm like, aren't we supposed to be back by winter?
You are, but you're in a different part of the world.
True. I have no problem with cold. I'm from the northern reaches.
Except in this case, the cold here comes before fog that seems to freeze.
Yeah, we just keep the gates shut at night.
Okay, so with the morning, what would you like to do? As you've now managed to spend a week, you've cleansed the temple, you have many options before you. You've been told that not very far away is the It's the mouth of
Mouth of Doom.
Doom. Yeah. There is said to be a druid in the forests over the river to the north. I'm sure that won't go down badly for your druid in the party, who has absolutely no memory of his former life.
Still think it's his ex-wife.
Do you want to go to the druid?
Yeah. You won't know if it's his ex-wife or not. He doesn't remember her.
There's also somewhere out there the Black Knight who collects eyes.
So he may actually be in the dungeons himself.
Yep.
So you might have to go into the dungeons to find the eye thief.
I feel like there was other things, but I can't remember them right now.
Something
Yeah.
like failed wizard tower, I think was one of the rumors.
There was a wizard who, with the Army of Light, who went into the dungeon and didn't return. But the idea is that he will return at one point, because wizards are like that and apparently can't die according to them.
Well, they do die. They just get better.
Yeah. As liches.
Question, Martin.
Yes.
With what Dimitri found in the library and, say, having an opportunity to potentially do more research about
It
the
does
Palafac
say
and things
an
like that.
insane druid lives in the grove in the Forest of
Who
Hope.
burns people when they appear.
Do we have a good understanding of the sort of time period that, like, this wizard who led the Army of Light type stuff actually went through?
Well, I think I mentioned it before, but Genrick isn't his name. It's just a name that he's been giving.
Well, I figured it wasn't his true name.
Yeah, generic Genrick.
Yeah, just trying to figure out.
I mean, like, I'm not really all that concerned. It was more just the idea of, certainly, we've come here originally with not much knowledge or understanding as to exactly what the influence of Orcus was here, or how long it's been here for.
Well, you
But
believe if
after a week or so, have we had the opportunity to get a better understanding of what have we walked into?
you're thinking about 300 years,
Yep, okay.
which means it's within a lifespan of an elf
Yep.
or a dwarf
Or a genasi.
or a genasi.
Or an
Yeah.
druid.
Dimitri takes his way. So then, well, yes. Now that we have a direct path back and we know we can get around, would seem to be time to continue to remove the influence of Orcus.
And who started that?
Mouth of Doom.
No.
Mouth of Doom.
Druid.
Before we do any of that, we don't really want to leave the keep empty. I know Drazzle's probably going to stay there and the chef, but for us to actually utilize this properly, getting reinforcements and getting more support would be a good idea.
Well, I'm assuming we're coming back here most night.
I mean, if we're going to test the curse of the Mouth of Doom, we'd want to spend at least a couple of days down there.
Okay. Like I said, most night. I mean, we can go away for a few nights, come back for a few, whatever.
Yeah, but if we want to build up the keep and build up our resources here, starting now is best. Because it's going to take time.
Do we
The main purpose of building up the keep was at the base of operations to ensure that you get A, back to the known world, and B, clear out the Palafac.
Yeah, but if we...
If you think there's more preparation work needs to be done, then
The more we do, the more... remembering that this is an ongoing campaign, and we're not going to get it done in the next month.
well, no, okay. Technically, we don't know anything about that yet. We've got no idea how big the Palafac is.
Yeah, but I've felt how strong Orcus's power is.
Okay.
And I can tell you it is not going to happen in the next few days.
Alright.
I also know that... Do you want me to roll a religion check for it?
Sure.
Yeah. religion. Okay, I don't need anything that helps me.
Guidance.
I have a specialization in fiends.
And what's the question you're trying to figure out?
How will the reconsecration of the castle help us?
The specialization won't help in that sense.
Okay. Religion is wisdom.
Can be, yes. That's the base one.
So 14.
14. Was that a 1?
2.
2. Not so bad. Okay.
Oh,
so
plus 1,
plus
15.
15. Okay, so yes, I'm sure that plus 1 made a huge difference there. And you're thinking, of course, you consecrated it, you're perfectly safe.
Yes, but what will be the impact? Like, can I?
That room is completely safe place to sleep. Everywhere else, well, that's everyone else's problem.
Do I know how we can, build on that?
Well, you could, claim the keep in your name. I'm sure that would extend it from just the chapel end to the rest of the keep.
That's a decent argument.
Are you comfortable with that?
You can pay me to change all the names and faces.
I mean, you can keep the names on it. Or I'll just get some stonecutters from the Northern Reaches.
And then he comes back and he finds his face in various pieces on the ground.
I'm happy for you to have a symbol of your influence, of your input, but so, we're gonna be here for a while. We're gonna have to leave and come back, setting up some sort of community here that will support the keep, start getting supplies without me having to go and run out all the time. Investigate the area, see if there's things that other people can help with.
Do we have a town nearby where we can recruit these people?
We wouldn't need
You have a town nearby, but you can't recruit people there.
We wouldn't need a town nearby though, because we've got the teleportation circle and we have contacts. So the chef can bring over some halflings who I'm sure will be able to take out the dangerous river monsters and reduce their population.
I'm gonna eat them.
Yep. We know there's a forest next door. That concerns me.
So what you're suggesting then is that potentially we want to explore the surrounds of the castle to ensure that it is safe for people to be brought into the castle.
Well, it's
Dimitri
also...
certainly spent some time doing the flying up and doing getting a good map of the surrounding area. So,
but we know there's something wrong with the forest. We want to combat that. Yeah, we can shut the door every night, but that's not going to be... If we're trying to reduce Orcus's power and influence in this area, then we want to find ways of reducing that, and part of that might be taking out some of the things that cause havoc and dismay and frighten people. And we have 3 elves in the party, a ranger who trained under elves, a ranger cleric who trained under elves, and whose god is a forest hunter, who is part of the god of the forest and is in direct opposition to Orcus. So I just think it would be silly to jump into the mouth of doom knowing what we know about it. And I think it would make more sense for us to try and have not just some stone walls, but a bit more security in keeping the keep safe. And I have family who could help with that.
Well, so Dimitri, who can teleport, how is it going? So he can teleport to here?
He can teleport to the basement of the keep.
so I can teleport basically between his domain and the castle domain.
Having gotten
That
help from
sounds good.
Drusila to create the
Yeah.
portal.
Yeah.
Drusila has claimed one of the guard towers for his own stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to argue with Drusila.
Okay.
But I would argue that I think getting some reinforcements here, knowing how strong Hildren has felt the influence of Orcus. Hildren is trying to put on a brave face and be logical, but she is scared. So she wants some security before we move on.
So there were three things.
First, I mean, Hookham's confident that, hey, a few days' work with the scrubbing brush has got rid of the influence of Orcus in this area, so how hard can it be?
A few days' work with a scrubbing brush. 8 days of 8 hours of prayer and dedication and reflection and all those things. Yeah, a few days of work with a scrubbing brush.
Are we concerned at all that removing Orcus's influence over this place will draw his attention and draw his people's attention?
He knows we're here. I don't think he feels threatened by us.
And currently your days are about 9 hours in length of sunlight. And so in the morning you do find that there is deep snow all around the keep, as far as you can see, having fallen heavily overnight. There is a blue shooting star in the sky, heading north.
Do we know any, does that ring a bell for anyone?
How fast are the shooters?
Well,
going?
hasn't hit them, so no bells rung today.
Yeah.
Just ask the Pathfinder people on last Friday how many times they got hit by bells. 4 in one session. 4 bells, that was. Okay, so yes, it's heading north, and it is a blue star. And you also see in the courtyard is a huge sized drake that is with sapphire scales sitting next to Drusila's cart, which is currently open.
Okay.
How deep is the snow
Inside the walls, there's no snow.
outside the walls?
Outside the walls, you can't really tell. I'm sure you can leap and see if it's soft or not. If you pancake, it's hard. If you fall into it, it's soft.
I might let someone else test that.
The fact that Drusila's cart is open is concerning.
Can we look for Drusila?
He's standing next to the Drake.
Is
I
he?
think.
No, he's not visible.
He is the Drake.
Is he?
Orcus grown
I
up.
mean, Drusila looks like a sapphire scaled thing in the picture.
He does, yes.
He does, but he's a dragonborn, not a drake.
And you can't see Drusila's horse anywhere except for those who have seen him without his illusion.
And every time I do primeval awareness around the cart, I sense dragon, and not just from Drusila.
So, are we sure he's not the dragon?
I'm fairly sure.
Well, it's a drake, not a dragon. Drake is completely different because drakes generally can understand Draconic but cannot speak it.
But depending upon how educated the character is, they might think a Drake and a dragon are the same thing.
Alright.
For an elf,
don't
they
have
should
to,
know
but
better.
you-
But Genrick isn't a normal elf.
Does Genrick actually want to have a long lifespan?
As far as I know, he's probably the oldest in the group right now. They said he's at least 180. I don't know how old Dothan is or how old that one is.
Well, that one he is technically, was it 4 going on 104?
I'm 34, but I'll probably outlive you.
So if you actually do check his age by any form of magic, it will put him down as 4 years old. Though he's got a body of a 100-year-old. And then the mentality of a hunter.
Seeing the Drake, seeing the cart open, I would like to look for Drusila.
Okay, so if you get close to the Drake, I'll say.
I don't get close to the Drake. I look.
He's sitting
From a
in front
distance.
of the tower.
Okay.
I would have had it, but I'm really bad if I do.
It's only even one stable hand that they know of.
Does anyone have a way of checking on Drusila without trying to get past the Drake? Or does the Drake have a different response to, say, Dimitri or Trellin?
Yeah. But the point is, last time we saw Drusila, he was actually in the castle, wasn't he?
He was.
But he was
the thing is
fleeing.
that he struck the idea that horse and cart had caught up with Drusila.
He's claiming the tower, though. So, I'm
Yeah.
assuming it's the tower that he's claimed.
It is in front of the tower, yes, yes.
Yeah. But all you knew is the fact that Drusila horse and cart has appeared.
It had appeared when Drusila appeared, so it was there.
Okay, yeah.
But its locks are open.
So, but yeah.
I felt what this cart feels like. It concerns me.
And Dimitri's seen what happens when the back door opens.
Okay. And Dimitri recognised that, hey, what happens in Drusila's cart stays in Drusila's cart.
So Dimitri has no concern for Drusila.
Not all of you being standing there.
No, we can't see Drusila standing there.
I believe he was beside the tower.
He's
That
inside.
was what a player said, not the GM.
Oh,
The GM
okay.
said that Drusila is nowhere to be seen and the Drake is in front of the tower.
Oh, okay, right. Again, Dimitri's happy that Drusila can look after himself.
Okay.
So, are we,
I've got an update on the cat, or the
Mouse.
mouse and the cat. So it's
Mhm.
kind of in a receptacle. So yeah, that's
At
okay.
least it's been caught.
That's good.
But at least it's in one piece and not 1,000.
Yeah. Much messier. 10,000.
Well, yeah, because it was in Erica's bedroom. Sorry. Keep going. All good.
So yes,
yeah.
you do know that falling stars are omens, whether it's good or bad. That's completely up to the interpretation of the viewer.
Is it so it's a shooting star heading north?
Yeah.
Blue and color.
Yeah. Drusila, blue, shooting star, omen, good or bad. Can I have my vision?
Sure. Okay, so this one says, interesting. You have a prisoner.
We got rid of the prisoner. We took him back to the farm.
That's what you think. Eric actually just locked him back down and listen.
You would. But Trellin's the one who took him home.
Did he? Maybe he took a bunch of rats in a trench coat.
Maybe.
I mean, I was concentrating, so I don't know.
And I believe that Trellin was actually concentrating for that week as well, because he was helping you clean.
Yeah, but he did trips to the town
Back
for
to the
supplies
falls,
and
yeah.
to drop Mordecai off.
So I think there's room for 4, so I can bring a heap of. So it's only 1 hour trip, so I can just bring stacks and stacks of stuff.
I wonder if the forge goblin would have a problem with blacksmith coming.
Okay, so I will ask you for a interpretation. Would you like a person, a creature, a place, a treasure, or a situation?
Situation.
Okay, so you believe that a situation arising from efforts to keep a person, an object, or information out of reach is what your prediction is.
So something's being kept out of reach.
A situation has arisen to keep something out of reach.
That makes sense.
And is that triggered by the presence of us?
I
That
don't know.
is the prophecy. The prophecy could be completely mumbo jumbo or actually relate to what's actually happening.
It could
It
actually be
is a
coming
very
from
good
Orcus,
picture.
but I am fond. I
The
believe at
circus
this
is
point. I would have been in the chapel when asking for my vision, so I am 90% sure it's Zurcher. We have a blue shooting star, a blue drake, a missing Drusila, an open cart.
Okay.
And who carries the staff of Redry?
I do.
Then you wake up and sometime during the morning you get a message from Redry.
Hello.
And the message was left on there because, hey, you're at a different time of
Oh, that's
point
right.
that he is basically saying that Drusila has fallen sick. Something went wrong.
So he was here, and then he was not here last session.
He was here last session.
Right.
But we also know that Drusila is many places.
That's right. Just because he was here does not mean it was also there, and there.
Okay.
We know he's in at least
3
4
places.
places.
Right, 4
Because we know he's at. Well, actually, we don't know he's in 4 places.
Dimitri knows he has 5 places he's in at all times.
Okay.
I know 4. Rhiannon knows of 4, not Hildren.
And does say that he appears to be sick in all his versions.
So are we helping him?
And that was the message he left for you.
Okay.
Dimitri, you've travelled with Drusila the longest. Is this something you've seen before? I hate to ask.
Dimitri will go into a long-winded explanation, amounting to timey-wimey stuff. He tends to stretch himself a bit thin.
Is there anything we can do to help?
Unlikely.
Okay.
Stop buying and forcing him to turn back time.
Yes, because I'm sure we're the ones that are that are stuffing up and forcing him to turn back time.
I can guarantee you he's done it to stop Henrik from paying the Drake.
I was thinking more, the arrogance of somebody causing some issues.
And it is reported that the great elven librarian has died.
Oh, it's a shame.
Of one of the archiving clan from Alpine.
Right.
Were you close?
No.
My condolences.
As I said, he made us cry on Monday.
Dimitri's disappointed. The source of knowledge he hasn't got to catch up with properly.
That's
Does Dimitri know that the library closes?
Well, he's known of the library. He's never been allowed to step foot in it.
Yeah, makes sense.
that makes sense. That's
The
practical.
fucking problem being disappointed about the fact that there's a source of knowledge that's been lost.
Because he hasn't talked to Dimitri, he obviously hasn't passed on all he knows.
Mm.
Okay. Or received all he should have known.
So all of this is concerning. But unless we can do something for Drusila now, And like I don't have I have healing. I have I have restoration of the lesser variety. I can't I can't cast greater restoration.
Rick can.
So, is Draggle actually still in his tower from our perspective? Is our Draggle still in the tower right now?
You suspect so, but
We
you
can't see
haven't
him.
seen him.
Right. And the blue drake is preventing entry into the tower.
He is, yes.
He growled at us.
So,
And I'm already, nervous around the horse and cart.
Well, seeing the horse in his natural form make you wish for him being the smaller horse-looking vehicles.
Well, at least now I know what it is and what I'm sensing. So if we can't do anything about that,
so Dimitri will then head towards the tower, and presumably when the drake hisses to say that, Dimitri will explain in Draconic, preventing his attack on Draggle, and if he needs help, send him to a place where he can receive greater care.
Okay.
why did I let Dimitri do that? I speak Draconic.
You can sort of hear the equivalent of mumbled words from the drake as it seems to be trying to say something back. But unfortunately, no words come through.
Can I say to the Drake?
But does the matter of the drake appear to allow Dimitri forward?
It does not.
Can I say to the Drake, realizing I know Draconic, we just want to help?
And it doesn't seem to want to let you pass.
Okay.
Dimitri does remember on occasions that Russell has asked his horse to guard,
Absolutely, yeah, he's not trying to push it.
and this is what he would recollect. Horse normally does, but in horse form.
Yeah.
And you also know that Druzzle takes on levels of strife and fatigue every time he turns back to him.
I would dare say, because Basil knows a lot more than our party, if he knew one of our party could help him, he wouldn't have his companion stop us from approaching.
Yeah.
Or if he's going through something that he thinks is too dangerous for us to be around.
So I've got an amulet of language. Does it allow me to understand Draconic?
You can understand the other two completely, just not yet.
Okay.
So even speak with animals wouldn't work because it's not a beast.
Right.
So using little technicality
Yeah.
on those ones.
Okay.
So I wonder if
Oh!
a different version of Draconic.
More imagine is.
No, it's the fact that Drake doesn't actually have a language.
Yeah, a Drake can understand Draconic, but cannot speak.
I have a thing. As a ranger, I can use verbal and non-verbal cues to communicate with beasts. I know it's not a beast, but I'm looking at movements, not like posture and stuff, not
It is purely in a aggressive, defensive position.
so I can gain basic information from them or make a simple request. I've already made a request.
What?
If you polymorph it into a rat, Gamer can just speak to it without having to do any other spells.
I mean,
Yes, the Vermin Supreme.
it's a Drake. Good
So
luck.
it's polymorph R.
But I feel like once it goes back to a Drake, that might be
Yeah.
a hassle.
Martin,
Yep.
what's the intelligence of a Drake? Normally.
It should be about a 4, I believe.
So,
I've got spells spinning through my mind, but I'm not sure if they're
if you're
mine.
particularly concerned,
Challenges.
we can talk and go past, but as I say, it's unlikely to be it's unlikely to do anything. But if you're particularly concerned, we can form the bond and ask the Drake.
I think what I think I
Assuming we would count it willing for a telepathic bond.
I think what I'd say to the Drake is, if you want, and if Drusila wants, we can leave you alone. But if you need our help, and if he needs our help, please reach out.
He just sits there and looks.
How many people have we got at the moment? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got the 5 people around at the moment?
That's just the 5 of you around at the moment, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, as I said, unlike to be able to do anything for Drusila at this stage anyway, and let's face it, he can look after himself. Are we going to continue to explore the surrounding terrain?
I think it's definitely worth exploring, but as I said, it might be worth getting some messages out, because if people have to travel to your stronghold to get here, getting them moving would be good. If we can't decide whose stronghold it's going to be, at the very least some halflings through the chef, and possibly, I mean, we're dealing with forests. If we have elven contacts, that might be good. And my family is from a harsh place that is very cold and is on the border of Trollheim, so constantly dealing with dangers such as runic trolls.
But
And
this is on the opposite side of the planet.
yes, but if we can get them traveling and eventually get to Dimitri's place in Karamikos, and there are like magic users and stuff in the Northern Reaches, so it might be sooner than we think, then I can get them to come. And like, my father is high up in the guard in Grebstad. My mother used to be a person that she lost her arm in a fight with a troll, possibly a runic troll, I don't know. My sister's in the guard and moving high up. She's a barbarian, and my fiance is also in the guard, but he's very familiar with forests because he used to explore with me.
And your cousin got killed by one of the other parties.
Yes, but my fiance's family got killed by the dire swine, the devil swine I'm after, who works for Orcus.
Right.
And we could possibly get some clerics down who might be able to help us understand and know how to maintain or expand the influence of, say, Zerchev, to reduce the influence of Orcus in the area. So, yeah, I think it would be great to go and explore.
You're doing all this preparation and effort to gain a solid stronghold in a place that's not currently threatened by the Master, does not appear to have the capacity to provide any army support to the Master, but to Derek and to fight the Master. And the primary purpose for coming down here was to eliminate the source of Orcus power. Is it not worth doing at least a little bit of exploration to find out that, oh, how long will it take to remove Orcus's power? As I said, if you're feeling you could clean this citadel in the space of a few days, it is hardly worth gathering people from across the world to sit here if it's only going to take a few more days to get the other few places of Orcus.
It's not going to be that easy. We know that there are 5 shrines of Orcus we need to destroy. This was not one
And
of
you're
them.
going 5 weeks.
This was not one of them, and everything we've heard about Rapanathak and everything we've heard from the villagers is it is going to be
It's
difficult.
superstitious rumour.
It would be stupid, Dimitri, to just walk into it with the information we have been given. And surely you're not stupid, Dimitri.
It would be ridiculous. But the point being that we don't know enough about the place at the moment to know whether it's worth actually putting the effort into.
I know my family isn't going to be involved in the war with the Master, at least at this point. And I know the thing that, yes, I'm helping out with the war in the Master because it threatens the northern, it threatens Mystara, and Redrian asked me to. But my destiny, my focus, my religion, everything that I am, is about fighting Orcus. So, yeah, the war with the Master. The war with the Master is important, and we will get to that in a few months. Right now...
Go and do it then. Orcus is right there. Let's go get him.
I think I'm with you.
I'm happy to go see the Crazy Druid. I just think we should start movement, because it's going to take time.
And then we can bring a Chosen else down here. I'm sure they'd love to have you trade partners with the people around here.
And they can put their true life in the forest and help with the training, the calming of the forest. That doesn't mean it's your stronghold.
Just so
I
you
never
know,
said that.
I mean,
I did.
as I reading while you were talking, it turns out you're in the northern part of the Forest of Hope. They're in the entire section of the Forest of Hope, just that they've got a river, 2 bits of forest, and in between those 2 bits of forest, the name Forest of Hope. So that the map is a little bit of a misnomer. So to give you an idea, it's got forest here with Forest of Hope written up there. Forest of Hope goes all the way down to there. But you think that because it's got a river here, that might be something different. In most cases, it's a big divide, and then they put it between those 2 bits, not along that section.
So we can, yes, the Chosamels are welcome to come down and help us
So
calm the Forest of
it
Hope.
is quite a large forest compared to some other areas.
And that would also
Very
solve...
good idea, Dauphin.
That would also solve the issue of some of the overlapping Tree of Life influences, which is one of the things we are supposed to be doing.
Because the Trossum's tree was...
Dimitri's more than happy to get some of those elven trees out of Karametos, causing the chaos next point.
But they are not going to want to go to a place where there is... They don't want to be dumped in the southern continent and said, "Here, fix it."
Yeah, the Master, deal with Orcus.
Mm.
They're not being dumped in the southern continent. They're the opportunity to return home.
Yeah.
I feel like the vampire lord...
But what I'm saying is the sense that... I would agree. They don't necessarily be dumped in an unknown area like this, so let's go, let's find out what the area contains.
Yes, but we can do that and still send messages to people saying, "Hey, we could use some backup. Can you make your way to Dimitri's... I can't remember what your land is called."
Dimitri's place.
Yeah, Dimitri's place. It's just how I think about it.
He's hanged.
Dimitriland.
Dimitriland.
Are you saying you haven't spent next week? What have you doing for the last week?
Rebuilding your fortress, as you claim.
Yeah, that's during the daytime.
And we haven't discussed what we need to do. I think this is a very good outpost, but I've been a bit preoccupied, so we haven't really talked about what to do with the place. And considering the Army of Light went to fight Orcus and didn't return, we might need some
100 years
backup.
ago.
Yes,
100 years ago.
his influence has grown.
They didn't succeed.
He's just gotten stronger, and hundreds of years ago, he wasn't on the material plane.
So what you're saying then is, in fact, the in order to pacify this realm enough, we'll have to take forces away from the war with the Master.
We're not going to hit... The forces we are likely to take are not forces that would be involved in the direct war with the Master. I'm talking about a small group of friends of mine and family from the Northern Reaches who probably wouldn't be sent to the front lines. I'm talking to the chef and seeing if he could get some of his mates to come down and help us, find food and subdue the local wildlife. We're talking maybe convincing one of the Elven clans that is having issues in Karamikos and forming issues and possible aberration anomalies in Karamikos, near your home, to come down here to a new forest, alleviating the issue we know is happening in Karamikos. It is a win-win-win, and if we send the messages now, then we have time to go and explore the area and, get to know more things while these people are travelling.
Yeah, so you're sending messages. What's stopping you?
You!
I don't have the ability to cast it.
I can send.
Let's just do it.
It's going to take me a bit because I have sending as a ritual, not a spell.
Yeah, so it takes 10 minutes to do.
Yep, so I can do it heaps of times, but
You can do it 20 times in a night if you wanted to.
I don't want to seize the area without discussing what our plans are, and if you have a better plan than this, I'm happy to listen to it. But
No, okay. I am perfectly happy to bring personnel if you think that's going to be needed to remove Orcus.
I
what I'm
fully believe
saying
it's
is
going to
that
be needed.
If you're suggesting it'll take time for those personnel to get here and you send messages, there's nothing stopping you sending messages and saying, hey, start heading over here, and then let's face it, if it turns out that we do and we can clear the area after we actually explore to find out how bad or dangerous it actually is, aside from the rumours of stories that have gone on.
So yes, we
Then-
need information of the local area. I've been concentrating on getting rid of the filth of Orcus from this place. I apologise for not deciding on my own to go and, organise people to come to the castle. I just wanted to check with people that they were okay, or if anybody had a better idea, or wanted to who they could access.
As this conversation's going on, can I search the castle for quill and paper?
Yes, you do manage to find.
Didn't I give you paper and a ink pen?
It's always good to find more.
Yeah, true.
You do find bunches of paper with writing all over. I'm sure you can fix that.
No, I think so.
Doing a library.
Trellin, what are your thoughts?
So, I only have a commitment to Redrian.
And to a bunch of elves who write down everything you say.
That's right. So,
And to the Feodel who you've drawn their sword for.
maybe, yes, the Feodel but yeah, Redrian the most. And I don't know the Feodel, how much that has sway in the southern continent.
Well, technically, if you tell the Feodel to move here, very likely they'll move.
So do you want me to?
Look, I think an elven clan down here would be good. I don't know if you want the Feodel moving from your land.
Maybe not all of them.
What would it
What
involve?
would be
So,
the clan
so they're in the Feywild,
because that helps to.
so they can
manage
just
costs.
teleport.
They can migrate down this way through the Feywild.
I have to bring next week.
100 years.
Possibly.
Well, that's just put a pin.
I have to bring next week.
So only about 10% of your left.
The other option was Chosen, who I believe are currently crashing in a vampire lord's area.
Near the mysterious elves who will not let them get any closer.
Well, the Feodel are closer to the vampire lords than the Chosen.
But
Chosen had just taken over his city.
opening up,
That's how I remember it.
being the trade link between the northern continent and the southern continent would be a very useful thing.
Which is why I was speaking with Chosen, because they're going to very much jump on the opportunity to be the trading
Particularly,
center of the other half of the world.
And to get away from the potential war with Karamikos and Thaiatis. Because that's where they're currently placed, in between the
and
two.
get away from the master.
Yeah, too.
So
we do also have 2 members of Trossum in the party, so I think that's a...
Is Dauphin Chosen? Did we
I think he said
decide?
he was.
Maybe he may change.
Yeah.
So, at this point, we need to contact the Chosen Elves, get the chef to reach out to the halflings and see if any of them want to come down and experience new food. And I can reach out to my family and see if I can get some Northern Reaches people down here who probably wouldn't have been going to fight the Master anyway. Dimitri, do you have anyone you think you should be contacting?
Himself.
Dimitri's already contacted all the people he needed to contact.
So, who's Dimitri contacted?
No, he's always contact back to the domain who you step away.
Okay. Do you want to bring down some of the Church of Zerchev to see if they can help expand Zerchev's influence? Or are you going to rely on me?
Because the priests and priestesses of Zerchev will have an important role in the spiritual guidance of Karamican forces that have to go against the Master.
Okay. So you're leaving it in my hands. Right. Which is fine. As I said, the war with the Master, the only reason I'm that involved is because Redrian asked me to. My main purpose is die, Orcus, die, or at least get off this plane, Orcus. So,
Yes. So why are you not actually making the effort to find out how much influence and strength Orcus actually has in the area
because I've
before
built it.
calling him back up? Do you not think you can handle it by yourself? You've got Dimitri.
Hildren looks at Dimitri, thinks about his dismissiveness of divine power, and puts on her ring of mind shielding. Or, twists her ring of mind shielding that she put on earlier this morning. Yeah, I think it's a bit further than me. I am happy to work hard with it, and I am happy to dedicate myself to it. Hell, I'm happy to die for it. But at this point, it's suicidal without having a stronger base. So,
Okay, so while all these guys have been arguing, I will give AJ a perception roll. He's the one who hasn't been throwing in his 2 cents in most of it.
10.
perception is wisdom?
Wisdom at this stage.
So 15.
Plus the 4. So 19.
19, yeah.
Okay, so you think you hear an elephant in the forest.
Oh, what, sorry?
Elephant.
An elephant. I inform the rest of the party what I've heard, or what I think I've heard, and in what direction do I think it's come from?
Coming from the south.
South. Is that...
So the Forest of Hope.
Well, technically you're in the Forest of Hope.
So is there a higher vantage point we can go to see, like a wall or a tower or something like that?
You can climb a wall, yeah.
You can get on the flying carpet.
Wow.
You can get on the broom. Well, you'd have to get Trellin to say up, and then hope that he'll say down again.
Or can I jump on the flying carpet with my colleague and just go up a bit of height and see if we can see anything?
Okay, do any of you have spy glasses?
Do you grab me when you do this?
If you've got spy glasses?
I have fast sight.
There's plenty of room. There's room for 4.
Yeah.
And I could use a break from Dimitri. So I have a specialization farsight with my perception. I mean, I could
Spyglass. Nice.
I
You have
could
a spy
levitate,
glass?
but
Yeah.
Okay, do you use it?
Yes.
Then you will have advantage on the roll.
I have advantage from my rank and an expertise dice.
And AJ can make a roll as well. I'm assuming that Genric isn't worrying about what's happening outside.
Eric's wondering what an elephant is. I have not heard of this creature before. Can I pet it?
Dimitri's, while they got off there, He's going to do a literal telepathic bond with the Drake, if it's willing, to then be able to
29.
talk and pick up.
Well beyond
Jackal.
15.
Yeah, you beat me. 25.
Okay, so what did AJ get?
15.
15. AJ does see this moving shape in the distance. It's a shape. Both Hildurin and Trellin do make out a woolly elephant in the distance.
There wouldn't be any woolly elephants up near the northern reaches, would there?
They do have stories of them.
Okay, what do I know about them?
They were hunted to extinction.
Is the shape moving towards us, away from us, in place?
He's been moving towards you.
And they're neutral,
They are beasts, from what you know of.
so probably neutral.
Can I do a nature check? And then with, again, I'm fairly sure I have advantage with expertise because I have an expertise in beasts, I think. Yep, beast law. So nature, advantage with specialization. Advantage and let's do... Nat 20,
Okay.
not counting everything else.
You do recognize it as a woolly mammoth.
Cool.
Which is generally extinct in most of the world, except for the lost land places.
It's like we've got the Isle of Dawn and Isle of Good.
Would I have seen any skull bones, remnants,
There's artwork.
and any story? Like you said, I know of them from stories. What do I
Things
know?
that stories of Thor facing them down, riding them, hunting them, eating them.
But they're not like calm. Like they.
It refers to it as prey, predator, and mount. Well, depending on the mood of the person.
Okay. As I have my ring of mind shielding on, and I have Trollin and Merc with me, I explain what I know of woolly mammoths. Does it look like it's? Does it look like it's moving with purpose, or just wandering the forest?
It seems to be walking in your direction, and as you watching, it seems to knock a tree down, and that's in its way.
Sounds like it's moving with purpose.
Yeah, this might be a bit dangerous, guys.
Be aware that you've got,
We're behind the wall.
there's no telepathic bond between the party at the moment.
Yeah, and even if there was, I'm wearing a ring of mind shielding.
Actually, no, but I'll tell you, because you said because you're wearing the ring of mind shielding, therefore you talk to the others rather than talking to them. Okay. Dimitri, they put the telepathic bond up if we're actually going off and doing something.
Yeah.
And okay, so that means for the last week or so, it's been a case of, oh yeah, getting all partying up around the place.
But for the last week or so, I've been putting on the ring of mind shielding.
Telepathic bond. Yeah.
And while you're doing that, Dimitri does get his telepathic bond up with Horse, and the only thing he does is get a sensation of purpose.
Okay. Like I said, I'll be trying to pass back the purpose and understanding of, hey, yep. The only thing we'd be looking to do would be getting Drusila to a safer place to recover his suit, but if you're happy to be here, he's happy to be here, all good.
You sure Drake understood what you said, but all you do get is a feeling of purpose.
And Dimitri's happy to okay, all good.
Okay, so yes, as you're watching, it does seem to be moving closer.
Yeah, I don't know how long stone would last against something like this.
How far away is it?
It is probably about maybe 500 feet at this stage.
Okay.
Getting closer.
Can you drop us off and on the battlements, and if you want to fly back up with your boat?
Sure. But you can just as easily shoot the thing from my flying car. That's alright.
I'd like a bit of
Why don't
space
you
to
do
move around if I need to.
But if it's moving with purpose, doesn't actually mean it's moving to harm us.
No, but we want to be on guard.
How thick are the castle walls?
Some of it thick, some of it not so thick.
What about the battlement we're standing on?
Did you fix the one they're standing on, or did you just make it look fixed?
I'd say he made it look like it, how he thought it used to look like. He's not a stone crafter. It's probably not as
So
much as it sounds like.
it's like you've 3D printed it. It's got a shell but no internals.
Is the wall we're standing on the wall that we collapsed, or is it one of the other ones?
Yeah, well, the outer walls you collapse most of them. So yes, you're standing on one of the outer walls you collapse.
I thought I only threw two through the same battlement.
There's not a lot of outer wall on one side.
Ah, true.
Where the gate was the most intact structure because it had two towers either side of it.
I can drop you off there.
Drop me off. Well, I don't know about Merc, but drop me off on the battlement facing the
Flying over.
creature.
Tap.
Could you...
I have things to deal with that.
The animals doesn't have any ranged attack. Could you fly to the animal but keep us out of its reach, but within sort of, I don't know, communication or something like that?
Did we see any
Like
indication of
100
someone
foot
riding
up?
it?
Doesn't seem to have someone riding it.
Okay.
Though from your look at it, it's not moving like a normal animal.
Yeah, there is something wrong here. I wouldn't get too close to it.
Yeah, alright. This is all very suspect.
So is 100 foot okay?
Well, I think if we get closer, do you think we could notice anything different? Notice anything more?
Like a woozy look in its eye?
Or perhaps if it's injured, or if it is an apparition masking something else.
If they've dropped me off, I've yelled down to Genric to get up here. And probably Dimitri.
Mammoths have tusks, so do boars.
I didn't
The
tell you
trunk.
it's a mammoth.
The trunks also have like pig nose. It's Orcus' follower.
I mean, I hadn't told you it was a mammoth. I just told you to get
What's
your
a
ass up
mammoth?
here.
So you get up and look.
I look at Hildrum.
There is danger approaching. Look that way, and you should probably see the trees moving and some of them falling. It's a big creature that is extinct in most of the world.
Right.
I know it from the stories of Thor using it as a mount and using it to hunt, and I know of it as a predator and prey.
Yeah, so Dimitri gets up there and goes,
Itself.
yeah, they don't
This
good
is
mount actually. We
It
travel
means
through
it's in the
quite some
middle of
distance,
the, like,
riding on the back of a mammoth.
Yeah.
So I only have one spyglass, so I can't share it that well.
That's good. It works well for you.
Um,
You could probably start taking it to your longbow to get better shots.
Maybe.
sniper.
Well, I've already got a sharpshooter feat, so I don't.
Just I'm saying to make it easier for you to hit, so you can see better on what you hit it. Yes, at 600 feet, I put it between his eyes.
That's right.
nice.
So yeah, there is a trick that I can do with I can it does the range of the okay, whatever.
If we're surrounded by forest, is it my favourite terrain?
Yes.
Excellent.
Even when it's covered in snow.
Yes. In fact, it's probably more like home.
Okay.
So Dimitri gets up there and take a look through his spyglass.
Yep.
Goes, yeah. Mammoths, they make good mounts. We travelled across the the plains of ancient Ethiopia on one of those. So,
Is this acting like the mammoth you knew?
well, it appears to be an untamed one.
It doesn't look like it's moving the way an animal does.
It's the crazy druid.
Yeah.
It's the crazy druid. She's come to find you.
Well, someone's been writing their name all over the walls.
Yeah.
Words got around.
He's been writing Genrick. And as far as he knows, that's probably not his real name.
Well, it might have been the name she gave you.
It might have been the name that he stole from someone. Or overheard somebody saying that's just a generic elf. He heard it as Genrick elf.
Okay.
Right, well, perhaps I'll have a look and looking for any evidence of spell casting or like a charm effect or something that would be otherwise controlling the beast.
It does look like it is moving with a purpose.
Directly towards us.
Seems to be moving directly towards you guys, yes.
Are the rats present?
No, the rats aren't present.
Yeah, get up on the walls.
The guy, obviously there was a large or steep cliff or steep hillside on at least one side of this castle.
The other side
The rest of
is
it's walking around.
Yeah.
so you have vantage to where it is as the ground does slope down lower.
Yeah, we
Mhm.
came from a different direction.
So it's coming from the
Yeah,
south.
that's okay. Like so from if the thing keeps coming towards us, you've got to run up a steep hill.
Not that steep a hill. Not for a huge
yeah.
creature.
No, okay, but it's coming uphill. Is the forest close around the castle at the moment? I'm assuming any clearing that had happened in the park that's going back.
It does have.
Except possibly the moles have actually cleared some of it.
They had cleared some of it within about 200-300 feet of the south of the walls, but that's mainly to use for firewood. And as you're watching, you see the mammoth stepping out of the forest into that cleared area, and it looks to be a dire mammoth in that site. So larger than a normal.
Bigger than what we wrote down at in the Hollow World.
Bigger than that one, yes. And Genrick gets to make a flat check, which is roll a d20 and tell me what you roll.
20.
Okay, yes, you just have a memory.
Oh no. Those aren't good.
And you remember someone you know like to take on that exact form you're looking at.
Oh no.
So
And this is
Can
a
we
person.
see the despair
and
across his
And it
face?
was this person who always said you're just so generic. In a very dismissive way.
Sounds like a dad.
And what range is this at the beast right now then?
At about 200 feet.
Is it slowing?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to move to a more secure part of the
Dimitri aiming to just distract it and make it turn around by putting a fireball at it.
Okay, and though you do hear a unfortunate wail coming from the druid of the party without him noticing he's doing it.
Yeah.
Knew it. His ex-wife.
could be your current wife if you don't know.
Genrick, what's wrong?
I might know who this is.
How far can your fireball go, Jeremy?
Are we in trouble?
240 feet. It's normally 120, but he's got the power caster feat, the lag and the double any spell crusade.
Give me a range
attack roll.
So is it within long distance?
It's in his range.
Within range of the spell.
He can go up to 200 feet.
Okay.
AC 34. Okay. 29.
Okay, it flies out and it hits the beast. How much damage do you do?
Hang on.
Is it fireball or fireball?
Fireball.
Fireball. Just cantrip. Just to scare it off. 16.
No. Even a normal mammoth wouldn't necessarily be scared of a fireball.
Okay, you hit it in the face for 30 points of fire damage.
Just aiming to give it a flyby to make it push the other way.
It stops momentarily, and you think you hear chanting.
Genrick, what do we need to know?
In manner?
I don't know. I just know I think I might know this person. They seem familiar.
And then you start seeing flaming dots come out of its mouth and some sort of swarm heading towards you.
Does that sound like your ex-wife?
Doesn't remember his ex-wife.
As there's streaks of flame seem to be swarming in your direction.
Genrick, can you do something?
I can, but
Well, I'm assuming it's probably initiative time.
that you yelled at him.
No, I will say that
If people want you to get it, that's great.
No,
as you're all looking,
I'm not waiting for Genrick.
everyone gets to make a Constitution saving throw before they get their initiative.
What am I rolling to? Not great. God damn it.
I'm sure he'll show up soon.
Yes, hopefully. 14.
I didn't say which one.
18.
18.
20 for the benefit.
22.
18 as well.
Okay, so most of you did well.
Yeah,
One
not
of you
me.
didn't.
How much damage do I take?
It's okay, you just have to roll enough dice.
While I'm doing that, can I use my reaction to do absorb elements? Which is a first level spell.
You could, if you'd roll initiative.
God.
Alright.
I would have been watching and waiting to do
Well,
something.
remember how you said you were looking at Genrick?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Damn it!
Okay, so luckily not a huge amount of damage
really?
as you take 23 points of piercing damage
Piercing damage, okay.
and
Actually,
you're
not that
on
bad.
fire.
And you're on fire.
I'm sure I have something. I think I've got my minor aeromancy, which lets me put out fires.
And everyone else has taken 11 points of piercing damage. Evasion does not help.
Okay. My cantrip, I have a cantrip that,
And then everyone gets to roll initiative.
But I have a cloak of displacement, or does that not help me?
Imagine fireball, cloaking placement, no.
Oh, okay.
So it's a swarm. You've all been covered in a single swarm. He even got you up on the flying carpet.
question, DM.
Mhm.
I have a request for my cantrip minor aeromancy.
Mhm.
Could I create enough wind to put out the fire, like blowing on a candle?
Generally not.
You can try.
Yeah, I don't want to flare it up. I just...
It's generally
I
the,
can just put it out.
it's the fire one that puts out the fire.
yeah,
It specifically
annoying.
says on the fire one.
Roll around in the snow for a bit.
I've got that as well.
I don't want to jump in the snow on the side of the mammoth. Roll
Avoid the
initiative.
yellow snow. Roll initiative.
You instantly light or snuff out a small flame.
I don't know if it's a small flame.
I think that if your whole body's on fire, it probably doesn't count as small flame.
Yeah, no, and it's influenced my initiative because I just rolled a 3.
Shame.
Yeah.
That's right, you're taking time to put out the fire.
So that's, even with a 3,
20.
that's 13.
Impressive. 33.
Nice.
So what have we got? Genrick has 33.
20 for me.
Which one's initiative?
So you roll
There's a dexterity bonus, and you might have the
It
alert
might not
feat.
be. It could be perception rather than dex. Is it dex? Oh, it doesn't matter. I get the same.
It's
We've
you
done
can
collection
use
in
any
the past.
attribute and you can use any skill as long as you can justify it.
I don't think you could use charisma.
No.
Performance.
So what did you roll, Sean?
I start
20.
playing music.
Start singing really loudly. I got
Dimitri, what do you got?
30.
I got 13. Maybe one of you will put me out before it gets to my turn and I have to lose an action. And you got 1?
11.
That means
11?
I don't get to use my action.
I mean, sure, but who's the one? Who's the one that tends to try and protect you?
Dimitri.
Really?
He's the one who hasn't threatened me for crowding off his line of sight.
He did.
I don't remember.
Okay. Obviously that was amongst the constant oratory from Dimitri that you chewed out.
Yeah. No, he did. It's just that I was more impressive in that moment. And then threatened you with holy water.
Oh yeah, because at the time he was a werewolf.
Mm-hmm. I was just helping you.
Yeah, and he was a werewolf during the coronation.
Didn't we get rid of that?
We got rid of it after the coronation.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and you hear a very loud, deep voice cursing Genric and Sylvan.
Ooh, it's getting closer and closer to being your ex-wife.
Or his daughter.
Right.
I know, Sylvan. What is it saying?
Basically calling Genric a incompetent nincompoop with no sense, and basically just every sort of thing you would expect someone who's berating someone they believe to be beneath them
Can
in,
I?
in intellect, language, and all forms of magic.
We're an initiative. I can't talk, can I?
And they got a natural 20 on their
I
initiative.
think you can talk like a couple of words or something.
It's generally
You can only use a talking free action, but normally not until after you've actually acted.
and it is Genric's go. You are
I'm
having lots of
assuming you
flashbacks
also-
right now.
I'm assuming you also speak Sylvan.
Yes. As a druid, I have to know Sylvan, because that's how my spells work.
And apparently, this person seems to be referring to your love of rats.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unnatural love of rats.
Lowering initiative order is a good thing. Because it gives you time to figure out
As being
the
why
best way
they
to solve the
banished you from this realm.
problem. Generally, like, trolling on people.
Ah, you've been here before.
But how dare you put your stupid name on my land?
I just thought that'd be cool. It's the woolly mammoth.
You just start walking towards it.
Yep.
You don't really care that you're on top of the battlement.
Yep.
You're going to jump off the development down to your phone, find out if it's got your heart.
He's done stupider things.
At least I have 4.
As everyone watches, you watch Henry start walking towards it and go
But
with a acrobatics roll to see how badly it goes at disadvantage.
Well, that's a 3.
You could get lower.
Or,
Get lower.
if you're lower, roll at disadvantage.
but you can transform
I
into a
can,
I'm
but this
initiative.
is an action.
I'm an initiative. Can I use guidance?
Well, you haven't got your reaction yet because your initiative hasn't ticked over.
Okay.
The lower you get, the longer it takes for you to get your first reaction.
Okay. I can't do anything to help, mate. Sorry.
It's not all time, pretty much different when someone deliberately jumps off a balcony.
So, what is your acrobatics?
My acrobatics is +4, so I lost the classic.
And you're not proficient in it?
Nope, and I'm checking if my magic items help me with that at all. I don't think they do.
So, right.
You face plant in the snow and it hurts.
What am
At
I
least we know how
magic
deep it is now.
Yeah. Well, no, if he's face planted, he probably just landed on. Like, I get a feeling it's like hitting water from that height, where you don't necessarily sink.
6.
6. You rolled lower.
I rolled a 2.
Okay, so you see him go over, and then you hear this thump, and realize that it's not snow, it's ice.
I'm just slides.
At this point, I do understand the woolly mammoth.
Yeah.
As he
Oh, I
has
understood it from the
taken
start.
9 points of bludgeoning damage
Yay!
by landing on his
So,
face.
do we want to trash this monster or not?
It's not a monster.
I mean, if you did
Yeah.
enough damage to it,
It's a cat.
if it is a druid,
It's a cat.
assuming it is, they'll just turn back into their druid form.
And it'll just reset.
And
So it's either we
So
can hit
she'd
her with
be-
a bunch of damage, or we
but
can try and
she'd-
convince her to come out into her druid form.
she'd be at full health when she came out, wouldn't she?
And it did
Yes.
attack after being attacked.
And she's just yelling at the moment.
That's right.
And it was her turn, and all she did was yell.
And you
After you effectively a fireball.
So
Yeah.
does that end my turn?
Well, that was
Yeah.
before initiative.
well, that was your movement.
What's
So,
going to be like?
So that stand back up and just go. Never
as you
mind.
stand back up, you find yourself getting back into the insect cloud.
Ah,
What?
It's the swarm is still there. It's not an instantaneous effect. When he fell off, he actually fell out of the cloud, then he stood back up into it.
It's a cool druid spell.
It lasts for 10 minutes, so 100 rounds.
Jeez.
Unless we can cause it to lose concentration. But at this point, I'm not feeling like attacking it. I mean, not that you can see me.
And
other
you,
than
and you also realize that there's no angel print where you landed.
yeah.
You didn't wave your arms and legs as you got up.
There's not even any print of where you landed.
That's about it for what I can do.
Okay, so in that case, you get to make a Constitution saving.
Yay! Put them back in the bag.
I keep forgetting to bring my dice down.
So what did you get?
Oh, the dice was a 2. But with my Constitution save, it's an 8.
Okay, so
Oh,
you
plus
end,
1 for my initiative, so 14. Not that it does anything.
So you end up taking 15 points of piercing damage, and you catch on fire
How?
because the insects are flaming insects.
They're,
They
they're
slash at you,
fireflies.
and if you fail the saving throw, they set you alight at the same time.
Right. Nice.
Because hey, why not? And
Yeah.
and now you have some idea of why he's so much into burning things.
Yeah.
That-
Who knows? He might enjoy this.
That brings us to Dimitri. You're inside a swarming cloud of hellish insects.
And
You
how big
speak
this
Sylvan?
swarm?
The swarm is about 60 feet in diameter. Oh no, actually it's 80 feet in diameter.
And we're in the centre of it at the moment, or?
The top of the battlements was the center.
Yeah.
So
So effectively we're 40 feet from the edge if we were going along the battlements.
that's correct. Though the
The battlements,
falling forward and sliding down almost got him out of it.
yeah. But how long are the battlements? Is there actually room to go along the battlement to be out of the range, or?
Oh, I should have done that. Did you like to say I summoned my wildfire spirit as a bonus action?
Well, you can if you'd really like to.
Yeah, it doesn't change much with my turn, I just have my extra effects.
So,
You could run along the top of it and get outside of its radius.
How tall
Okay.
is the swarm that we're currently in? Like, how far up would I have to get to be able
40
to?
feet.
Yeah, that's not gonna help.
Yeah. Dimitri will move along the battlements. For aiming to get out of range, but his movement's only 35, so he's not going to get quite to the edge.
Then he gets to make his own Constitution saving throw.
Where are we? 17.
17. On a 17, you take 7 points of piercing damage and do not catch on fire.
Okay, so that's actually Duck worked through his arcane armor, so he took 5 points of damage.
Okay. Do you want to do anything with your action, or did you want to?
And then,
Or did you want to do a action on top of your move to move out of the radius?
well, I think actually, because when do you take the damage in the thing? When you start your turn or when you end your turn?
When you end your turn.
Okay, so that's good. I can then do a bonus action dash to keep moving out.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, I can't the spell beforehand either way, but the active level up or the fifth ed allows you to actually do stuff in the middle of your move, doesn't it? I think so. We'll go with what's something convenient. I just went for tickling her. She's gone for tickling us. We'll keep it nice. I'll just get with the fireball at the moment. We don't really want to hurt each other.
Okay, give me
attack roll is AC 21.
That's a hit.
What are you doing? Like, what do you...
It's Dimitri!
Do you want to escalate this thing?
It's Dimitri!
Oh, that's it.
I think the answer was yes.
It's gonna destroy his keep. He must kill it.
Yes.
You may-
it's-
From Dimitri's perspective, he's not escalating it. He's continuing his cantrips. He's using fighting insects, I'm using cantrips. 12, 20 points of fire damage.
Okay, and Trellin.
I'm holding off using my actions and just having it poised, ready to loose an arrow. But I assume my reaction now is engaged and
Would you like to,
move out 60 feet.
if you'd like to do a held action, you can move out of the range of the insects and declare a trigger.
Yeah.
What trigger are you declaring?
Let's forget about it. It's just not bother.
Okay, so when someone forgets, you shoot them?
No, I
I was just joking on that one.
You immediately shoot down, right?
no. There must be a non-combat way of getting out of this.
Well, when someone says ready, I generally ask for a trigger. You can, you would give up your action to say, I move out of the
You
space
could
and
put
wait.
me out!
Or you could, or you could
I'm on
delay.
fire!
Roll in the ice.
I don't know how.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try something in a bit.
Okay, so that brings us to Hilderon. You're on
Yay!
fire!
Yes! Can I use an exertion point
Yep.
and summon my whirlwind aura?
Yep. You take 1 point of fire damage.
1 point of fire damage. Okay.
You're on fire.
There's your
My
fan
whirlwind
flames.
aura forms a gale around me.
Mm-hmm. And you feel the flames rise up stronger.
Yep, I can handle that. But
You're the human torch.
yes, I will deal with that in a minute.
Oh, yeah, I
But-
did it first.
If anybody's within 5 feet of me and myself, any ranged attacks has disadvantage.
And you are noticing the swarm doesn't seem to be against you as you're now making them swirl around you.
Yes, that was what I wanted. And the swarm doesn't take damage, does it?
No.
I can't damage the swarm. Okay, because that would have been vaguely cool. So I still have my action and bonus.
What ability did you use to trigger that one?
Exertion point.
And it was a...
On my turn. No action required.
Okay, yeah.
Can I whistle?
Mm-hmm.
I'll count. Happy to make it my action or my bonus action and call my Feyhound.
Yes.
So bounding up next to me is a rather large. Show you a picture because it's easier than trying to explain. My Feyhound.
Nice.
Rather large, sort of looks like an Irish Wolfhound crossed with a Maremma.
I don't understand the second word, but that's
It's
okay.
a
It's a very
big,
fluffy
fluffy
dog.
dog.
Right.
And its eyes look
Big
like
husky.
storms with
Ah.
lightning flashing through it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's my bonus and my exertion point.
And what's your action?
Can I put myself out now?
Give me a flat check.
I'm dealing
Could
with
use my action to put you out instead of use it.
That didn't roll anything. 18.
18. Okay, yes, you put yourself out. Now make a Constitution saving throw for your dog.
Okay.
Who's now looking at you with that long suffering? Why?
Oh, should I do one for my spirit?
Is it?
It has hit points.
Did,
and armor
did,
classes,
did you take
but-
it with you?
I mean, I'm going to say.
If you
have
took
to
it
be
with
on
you,
me.
But
if you
I'd
took it
say
with
it's
you,
15 feet in front of
whirlwind
me.
then it's
aura,
fine.
Okay.
doesn't it mean?
It doesn't protect the
doesn't
anyone
protect-
else.
But doesn't
Ah,
it?
okay.
No, it protects anyone within 5 feet of me. And the
Yeah.
dog is right beside me.
It's right beside you. Okay, he does have that look of why.
Because I want you near me.
Okay.
He just looks like that fox in the blizzard. Like, it's windy.
He's used to wind. He's my conjured hound.
Yes, but he's now in an insect swarm.
Yes, but he's safe in the insect swarm.
Yeah. And of
Not
course,
for long as far as he knows.
Robin came, why the llama? Why, Martha?
Does he get a turn now?
Technically his turn was coming here.
Okay. I can't give him. Okay.
Usually with summons that say share your initiative, I'll go directly after you.
Yeah.
And they don't always get full action on their first turn if they're here for a long duration. If they're only here for a small number of rounds, then they get to act normally, but when you summon things that are until unsummoned, the first round is getting you.
Okay. I'm willing to take that.
Or you have to use a bonus action on your turn to command them to do something. That's how my spirit works.
Which then brings us to Mark.
Yeah.
This works more like a ranger companion.
You're
So-
surrounded by flaming bugs.
So before I move to a safer part of,
If you step next to me, the flaming bugs won't be able to get you.
I don't know where I am. Where am I at the moment?
Sure, you can be close to Kilderon where you see these big swirling bugs going in this really tight circle.
Doesn't look too
5
appealing.
feet either side of me.
Yes, but the circle is, he's not 5 feet next to you yet.
Yes.
How
Bugs.
far away from the edge of the bugs am I? So to get out of reach.
Looking around, you can't see the edge.
And creatures of my choice must make creatures of my choice. So you don't have to do this. Who enter the sphere, have to do a dex save, or who stay in the sphere have to do a dex save or take damage.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna get out of these bugs.
Well, you did see that Genric dived off the front and slid out under the bugs and then stood up in them.
Yeah. That's not. Yeah. I'm gonna try not to do that.
It's
How-
also putting you closer to the mammoth.
It is. How far away from Hildren am I?
You're about 10, 15 feet.
All right.
Hard to tell before those swirling bugs.
Yeah. I make my way next to Hildren within 5 feet.
Okay.
Can you cast fire?
No.
Give me a. I'm going to say wisdom saving throw.
Not bad.
21. I've got a 5
Yeah.
for wisdom.
21.
Okay, you manage to cover your face just before you hit the swirling bugs and feel them all smash against you as you go through that outside world of bugs.
Delicious, delicious.
And once you stand inside the zone, you are now caked down one side in gooey mess.
I brush the gooey mess off me as best I can.
You notice the gooey mess is, flammable. And flame, I'm on fire!
I'll leave the gooey mess. Deal with that later. Can I cast a battle hymn?
I'm sure you can.
Can I cast a battle hymn on Genrick? Because I believe he may need some help. Specifically, placid tones, which would give him an expertise dice in intelligence, wisdom, or charisma.
You can now currently see 2 other people.
Yeah, we can't see Genrick.
You can see a world of bugs, and you can see Hilderon and a dog.
Okay.
Give it to the dog.
Partly
My
because
dog's fine.
the bugs are swirling so fast, they're now obscuring sight.
Can I?
You did it to yourself.
Yes. Can I hear the mammoth still talking?
Do you understand something?
No, but I'd be able to hear like things I'm not aware of.
Well, it is weird noises, so it sounds like forest noises.
I am up shit creek.
It's just a series of bird calling the occasional Genrick.
You could cast a protective or an enhancing spell on somebody you can see. I think there are some you have that don't require sight.
Yeah, I don't think.
But it is funny when you make your own obscuring sight.
Yeah, but it's better than being on fire every turn.
You did that to yourself. You walked through the fire.
I did not walk through the fire. The fire came at me.
I don't think I have.
You could hold your turn to do the paddle hymn when you see Genrick.
Yeah, I think I'll need to hold my turn on the fire.
So
Well-
do you want to have an action and a trigger?
If you hold your turn over, you don't step in beside Hilderon.
You can't move if you hold your turn.
You
So
can ready an
you just
action.
move in there.
Alright, well,
Next thing, and then possibly cast a buff spell on yourself or Hildren.
yeah.
You can see.
Well, I think yeah, I will ready an action.
And what action are you readying, and what is the trigger?
I would like to use my battle hymn, Placid Tones, on Genrick once I have him in a line of sight.
Okay, so if your turn comes around next round and he's not in line of sight, you expend that use.
Okay.
Yeah, you.
So it's used whether you see him or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
And it's now targeted for him only, so it won't work on anyone else.
Yeah.
So yeah, mark one of your bardics.
Yeah.
Okay, so that brings us around to the mammoth. And it stops about 100 feet from the wall. And it seems to be looking at Genrick. And all it
Not
does
those
is
people who try to think it's good.
not looking at anyone inside, as it picks up a branch from one of the trees about the size, about 10 foot long, and throws it in his general direction. So I'm going to give her a disadvantage on her roll. Well, it looks like it's going to be a miss. So a 2 and a 16. So on disadvantage, I think she misses, as a branch about 3 times your thickness and longer than you are smacks into the ground near you. So much so that it buries itself about halfway into the ground.
Yeah.
Of course, you remember you do have this effect on people. Joker.
Yeah, so I'll walk out of the bug swarm.
Yep.
Specify that.
Walk from out?
Still be in it. Yes, towards the mammoth.
You are now 20 feet from the mammoth.
You might need to remind me. I do not remember who you are.
Okay. And then it is Dimitri's go.
Yay.
I'll cast. Yeah, it's something I've got to get on because Dimitri couldn't be aware of it. But as a player, I can't be real. I'm too tight to think of it right now. Dispel magic should work on a concentration conjuration.
It can, yes.
Yeah.
As long as you roll well enough.
Yeah, okay. He'll cast Dispel magic on the forming bug.
At what level?
You cast it as a third level spell. Yeah. And get a DC or ability check. DC 23.
You hit DC 23.
Yep. Which would mean technically he should be able to dispel
You dispel the 9th level
12
spell.
level spells.
Is it 12 level spells? No, I think that's technically you'd be able to dispel 9th level spells if you hit a DC 19.
23, okay.
No, what I was saying is if you hit 19, it would cover 9th
Oh,
level
yeah.
spells.
Yes, that's what I mean. That's what I mean to finish it when I get 12 level spells. Sorry.
What level spells? What? No, those don't exist.
Oh, actually, I've got rules for them.
Oh no.
Okay,
Martin
so,
said we're likely to play over 20.
I remember that.
okay, so as you're watching, the insects just seem to shrink in upon themselves. Unobscuring everything, which means suddenly your trigger goes off, and we hear Merc. How does Merc's spell go off?
Beautifully.
Is it oration?
A
Singing?
very placid tone.
It's verbal. He sings it. That's his specialty.
And is your sing a rhyme, or is it a mocking caricature of the person? Is it
Inspirational melody.
inspirational melody? So like you're humming a couple of bars.
Yeah.
So apparently you now have your theme music.
Why does it sound like Benny Hill?
And what does it grant you?
Expertise die in intelligence, wisdom, and charisma checks.
So apparently you are better than you thought you were.
Okay.
Okay, so that brings us to... So Merc has now changed his initiative slot to behind Dimitri, and it is now Tron's go.
I'm just holding off. Just
You feel quite comfortable outside the swamp.
that's it.
And Hularan.
So the bugs are gone.
The bugs are gone, but your hair are now arcing around you, and you see that Merc has flame down his side.
Does it look... So I see... Is she focused... I couldn't see her before. Is she focused on Yenrik?
The mammoth is focused on you.
Yes. So it doesn't look like it's going to attack us anytime soon?
Well, there is a uprooted branch sticking in the ground right next to Yenrik.
I know Yenrik.
How close is the mammoth to the walls at the moment?
About 100 feet from the walls.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to drop my whirlwind aura.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was mostly worried about the bugs. Do I want to do that? Not drop the whirlwind aura. I know I want to do that. No. That's attack.
Martin,
Yeah.
I kept look further in. Oh no, so it's counterspell, not this one making. That's right, no, get going.
Can I use my minor aeromancy cantrip to make my voice louder?
Sure.
And can I yell in Sylvan? I get where you're coming from, but can you explain to us what's going on? And even if you do need to, like, destroy him, can you make sure you leave the keep alone?
Okay, so yes, that goes out. And she does respond, saying she banished him over 50 years ago.
He's
Yeah,
having
that's-
memory issues.
That might help.
And she banished him after taking his identity from him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And he's still a dick without his identity.
Yeah, that makes sense, but I'm trying to protect him because I'm trying to use him to help me.
You're using me? It's so mean.
Shut up, Generic!
And she does say she cursed him based on his love of the rat, so they will now follow him adoringly without any wisdom to it. She pauses for a bit, trying to think of the right words.
It's definitely been amusing. Did I tell you? Can I tell you about the time he turned into a werebore and ran away because I threatened him with holy water?
That sounds too much like a bath.
Yeah, that's why he didn't want it.
No.
Have we fallen out of combat?
You
Or out of initiative?
You have fallen out of combat, unless people want to act.
Okay.
Does Gendrick want to act, or does he just want to hear himself being talked of in the third person?
Who are you?
She looks down at you and says, "Your worst nightmare."
Has he mentioned that he
I
thinks he
wanna
has an ex-wife?
Possibly.
He's mentioned that he knows he has a daughter, and he assumes he probably had a wife at some point. But he doesn't remember. And that's because I don't remember. Sean, the player, doesn't remember what I wrote down.
I'm fairly
for it.
sure you've said you had a daughter. I know player talk you've told us you've had an ex-wife, but I can't remember if Genrick has said it.
Genrick has not mentioned an ex-wife.
And her response to you is your worst nightmare.
Gonna need to be more specific. That doesn't narrow it down much.
Genrick,
I have
what,
like
did,
3 or 4 of those now.
what did you
And
do?
2 of them are on the wall.
What did you do to piss this woman off?
I don't know.
She says, married him.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
That seems like a you problem. There's clearly no you to it.
She
So-
says, you lied.
I'm not very good at that. I think.
Well, maybe you lost that when she took your memories.
That would make
Ah,
sense.
when she took the memories.
Do I have a daughter? I
Do you remember a daughter?
I think I do. I remember a small elf chasing me around and learning fire magic.
You actually have memories. Didn't do it well enough, then maybe I should redo it.
Can you just tell me who you are?
She told you who she is.
Worst nightmare.
Didn't narrow it down enough.
But
She said
she married you.
I don't know who that is.
But she
I
married
don't know
you.
anybody by that name.
Oh, God. I need to do something. Okay.
And she does respond with, she didn't think she stole his intelligence, but hey, anything's possible.
Can I
This is
minor
funny.
aromancy again and reduce his voice 3 times lower?
You are standing on something that I made. I can break it back.
It sounds like a wind can break it back.
Probably.
I'm just trying to make him quieter. I'm trying to diffuse the situation.
She did banish you to the Northern Hemisphere.
Ah.
Does that mean I'm not a Chosen?
She didn't consider you in anything.
Uh,
No memory, no people. No problem.
she's still a mammoth.
Yes.
You wanna drop that form might rejog the memories that I do have.
She blurts with the trumpet right in your face. Everyone sees his hair blow back.
I take it you're not here to just talk, are you?
Does that mean has Genrick walked to her, or did she walk to Genrick?
Well, Genrick sort of slid towards her, then stepped towards her to get out of the swarm, and he is 20 foot from her, and she is gigantic in size. So
Yeah.
20 feet
She's
is
still
easily
100
within
feet from the
her.
wall.
She's still 100 feet from the wall. And being able to blow the trumpet in his face, she doesn't have to move close to do that.
Oh no, that's fine, that's alright. I hadn't realised Genrick had gone so close to her.
So yeah, she trumpets in your face. You wipe the effects off afterwards.
I see. So why are you here?
You wrote your name all over the walls and summoned me.
I did that so that they would know who fixed it.
So you summoned me. Insulted me.
Well, you stole my name.
You willingly gave it up.
I did.
But even that'll kill you. So you chose give up name.
Why did I choose Genrick over name?
Because I kept saying how generic you were.
Ah.
You could have been any elf.
But I was the one you married.
Yes, because you pretended to be someone else.
Really?
I don't think you did.
Who did he pretend to be?
Her fiance.
It's like D&D days of our lives. I love it.
And you believed me long enough for us to have a child?
Well, it didn't take long.
Fair enough.
And you do look a lot like your older brother.
Was he a dick?
Oh no, he apparently was the smart one. And apparently convinced you to sub in for him while he ran off with someone else.
This just seems like you're angry at my brother, not me.
Oh, I already dealt with him.
Oh, good. I probably didn't like him either.
Well, you liked him enough to pretend to be him.
But going off what you said, he probably was the favourite. Yeah, that makes sense, actually. That sounds like something I would do.
Genrick, have you apologized?
I've been trying to explain that I'm a completely different person now.
Doesn't
I don't
matter.
even remember.
You should apologize.
You tried talking to a giant mammoth.
I have been.
Didn't stop you last time, she says.
Look, can I just talk to you as an elf? I'm assuming you're an elf.
You always preferred me as a mammoth.
Wow, you were weird. Look, I don't have memories of who I used to be. I apologize for what he has done. You've clearly already dealt with my brother.
It's okay, she's still got the box with your memories in it.
And I have those back.
Why? You're a dick.
Look, I'm just here to help these people out. I can leave if that's what you want from me.
Why would you want those 300 years back?
I do not look a day over 100. It's been 300 years?
Oh, you had 300 years of memories.
Oh. How old am I?
Oh, how old? This current form? Probably only about, she thinks for a moment, 20 years maybe?
Look, he's probably going to die anyway. We are planning on going down into Rapanathak. Could really use another body, meat shield, something.
He's good for that, she says.
We can make sure he returns after he's been useful
He
and goes
doesn't
back
need
to the
money.
northern. No, to the northern hemisphere.
Well, whatever you do with him, that's your choice. Just tell him to stop writing his name everywhere.
I can fix that if that's the problem. But we
And
should
then
inform
defaults
you
to
that we are
Rihanna.
planning on
As long as Dimitri doesn't fight me.
we are planning on bringing some people from the Northern Hemisphere to come live down here. We haven't decided who yet, though. It might be my foster family,
Someone actually adopted you? Who was that desperate?
merchants.
Must have been very desperate.
Apparently, they used him to keep the bad magic at bay.
So he does have a use.
Burning things?
Oh, he did that in his sleep.
Yeah, I've yelled at him for that.
I do it when I'm awake now as well now.
So she sort of sits there and goes, well, as long as he doesn't try to claim the forest, she's fine.
Is the forest yours?
Why wouldn't it be, she says.
I would not be the one trying to claim the forest. That one is.
I'm claiming the keep, not the forest.
He doesn't really care about the keep.
We were wondering if getting a tree of life down here would help to
I'm gonna shoot this already one down.
deaden Orcus's influence in the area.
It would be interesting because there's never been one here.
Would you mind if we got one of the clans to come down?
Would make life interesting, she says.
You're not a worshiper.
Do you
of
have a
Orcus, are you?
preference?
Why would I worship a peak god? Sounds like something you'd do.
Technically, I did at one point.
You worshipped Orcus? What?
I became one of his werewolves for like a month.
That doesn't mean you worship him.
Again, she
he saw
says,
it that way.
No, I just said you're a werebore, and I don't like werebores. And if you'd stayed that way, I might have tried to kill you.
But we're probably only going to be down here for the winter. We'll be leaving afterwards.
We may have to come back.
They will come back.
maybe
you have-
you'll have more sense by then, she says.
Do you have a preference for any particular elven clans?
She's never really encountered any clans.
So as long as we tell them to leave you alone, it should all be good?
Should be, she says.
And I'm sure you can handle yourself if it isn't.
If not, she'll just sit on them.
Excellent. Nice form, by the way. I've always wanted to see a mammoth.
She stretches and shows off the form a little bit. Turns around, flicks some snow over Genric as starts walking off.
Can you?
Lovely to meet you!
Can you do that?
No. I can barely turn into a normal-sized mammoth. As in, I can't do that.
Alright.
I don't... Tempted, but I don't think she'll join us.
You do hear her say, "Envy's a bitch, ain't it?"
I like your ex-wife.
I don't.
So can you come and get your stuff off the walls?
No.
She'll
I'm-
come back.
Yeah. Garrick walks into the castle, back into the keep. And then he's going to use Earthshape to just write his name across the cliff.
Can I go down and smack Genric over the back of the head?
You can.
Do I need to make an attack roll or just do it?
Does Genric dodge?
No.
Then, no, you don't need to. Everyone hears this whack!
Appropriate.
I'm going to keep doing it till she gives me my memories back.
Antagonizing a angry woman is not the way to do that. Trust me.
I mean, she's in mammoth form. That was your preference. There's a make-up avenue there.
Look, I tried to be reasonable with her and she tries to sneeze on me.
No, you didn't!
So did you say sorry?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, he said sorry. He said sorry because for his past self. He said, yeah. He didn't really say sorry. It was an empty sorry.
Yeah.
It was a conditional sorry.
Yes.
A very conditional sorry.
But he wants his memories back.
So
And she
make
said no.
nice.
He did make nice.
No,
She
you
sneezed on him.
didn't! Ah, I can see why she turned you into a she took your memories.
Yeah.
Next time I won't try and talk her down.
I'm starting to think that that's just what she is, a giant mammoth. I don't think she has a human form, elf humanoid
She's a
form.
druid.
Druids don't usually mess with memories.
Have I experienced any druids in my training?
Is there a
Depends on how
greater
messed up they are.
restoration spell that restores memories?
Those spells have already been cast on him in the past.
It would if it was due to trauma. But it's sort of like, imagine someone magically removes your arm. You'd have to then have a regeneration to bring it back.
Right.
But it won't be the arm that was taken. It would be a
Okay.
new arm. So he could regenerate his brain cells, but that just means they're capable of remembering, not that they get the memories back.
I look at Genric, I look at Dimitri, I sigh and go, bloody men! And go and walk into the chapel.
Okay, so you do notice asleep on the altar is Drusila.
How does he look?
He looks sound asleep for one,
Yep.
and very pale.
And is this a cause of Zerchev's being assigned to this fort?
You guys don't know about it yet. I
Okay.
don't know.
Alright.
I look at him. I know that that level of sickness is something that I probably won't be able to deal with. Can I commune with Zerchev?
You can commune with Sergio. So while that will take you a while to do. While that's happening, what is everyone else doing now that you've seen Generic and his ex?
Well, if I'm on fire, can I put myself out?
Yeah, you can just pretty much break it off.
Yeah,
It's not burning. It's
Sorry,
just.
I didn't think about that.
So imagine someone's hit you with a sticky flamey thing, and that's just flame coming off from where the insect stuck to you.
I'm going to go look at something to eat.
Well, maybe that Genric and his ex are having their dip outside the castle wall. Dimitri will go back to the library and keep studying.
Okay, what does Trellin do? You're now above the battlefield. Everyone seems to have stopped fighting.
Alright, so do we need any more supplies? Or
I mean, I've been getting I've been getting my gathering and hunting done, so I can supply us and maybe.
Remember, Zelkor Ferry's not that big, so it's not like you can be getting huge amounts of stockpiles of supplies.
okay.
Yeah,
Alright,
and like as my activities, I can get even with an hour of foraging and stuff. I can get us enough supply to feed us and the Forge Goblin.
Cool. Alright. I'll start sweeping.
Okay. You start clearing up the some of the husks on the ground.
I think I found paper and a quill before.
Mm-hmm.
I have a cartographer's toolkit as well as a compass. Can I start drawing up a map of the known area?
Yes, you can. Though you do have a couple of other maps that
I've
the
done
group
that.
had,
Ah, you done it?
including Dimitri.
Dimitri's done a long view, like aerial one,
Yep.
and I was drawing a map as we came because I'm good with geography.
Perhaps my map
Right.
could be left with anyone that does come to establish trade routes with the nearby settlements.
Makes sense.
Well, there's only one settlement you know of, and it has less than 100 people. It has less than 50 people. It probably has close to 30 people.
What
Sounds
do
like
they
a good
trade with?
They trade with whoever survives the river,
Mm.
Right.
or walks down to the Lost Coast Road, as they call it.
They would be very happy to have a regular steady trade
Yeah,
because
it could be trading
the merchants don't really
It is a
get there
trading
all
hub.
the time.
Yeah.
For those who live long enough to reach it, it's a trading hub.
Right. Well, I'll make up the map regardless.
You never have too many maps apparently in this space. Nobody else seems to have them.
I've got a cartographer's
And you're able
kit.
to clear off whatever was on the paper beforehand quite easily.
Whoever will see it's gone now.
most scribes know how to empty a page. Okay, so after that, your communion does ritual. So you get to make your nature roll for your commune. Actually, you're doing it as a cleric, then
Yeah.
it would be your religion roll.
Oh god, I wish it was nature. I wouldn't have expertise on contacting my god.
Not necessarily unless you've got a specialty in it.
No, damn it. Religion is intelligence, yeah? Or wisdom? Religion for me is more wisdom.
I'm happy for it to be wisdom.
So 13 plus 4 is 17 plus 7. 22.
22. Okay, so as you get the spell off, you do feel the presence of Sir Jeff, and he does seem rather annoyed at the moment. And his first words to you are you damning me or are you damning someone else? I can't quite figure it out.
No, I'm saying you should damn him.
Damn who? He says he can't see who you're looking at.
No, I'm looking at Drazzle, but that's not who I'm talking about. Genrick.
Gen who? That sounds rather generic.
Yeah, it is. He pissed off his ex-wife who took his memories and kept calling
that
him
guy,
generic.
yes. He's had a word to the wife, he says.
Oh, nice.
She complained about him greatly for many years.
Nice to know she's in contact with you. I like her.
Well, she did threaten to burn the forest down with him in it unless he left.
Yeah, I like her.
He's still writing his name massively on, like, massive name on the cliff. Trying to get her to come back.
He wasn't done talking to her.
But all of this, while amusing, is not my main concern. Our travel companion Drazzle, who I have never even seen sleep, is currently passed out on your altar and looks very ill. Is there anything I or we could do to help him?
Okay. There is. He does say that he has pushed his forms beyond its limits.
Is there anything we can do to help?
He does not know. It is beyond his skill for those who mess with time.
Would would restoration or healing or anything anything to help?
He has talked to the gatekeepers of time who said you narrowly avoided a end-of-world event
That's nice.
about 30 times.
I can see why he's tired. So you don't know if anything that any of us can cast would help.
Maybe let him sleep.
Will he be able to recover?
Over time.
How long?
He has no idea. He again has no dealing with the stresses of messing with the time stream.
Okay.
It's outside his domain.
Also just checking. Are we safe in the keep at the moment?
The chapel is fairly safe.
What can I do to reduce Orcus's influence in the area?
Just don't say his name.
Okay.
You say his name, you give him power.
Okay.
And each time you say his name, he gets more power. And if you say his name 3 times in a day, you have summoned his attention.
Okay. I will tell that to my fellow.
Not be known.
Yeah. Tell that to my fellow compatriots.
Like anybody, if
Shall be
you
Voldemort.
overuse their name, they will notice. And if you call damnation in someone's name, it might be his name you call next.
Okay, so I should definitely say Zurchev, damn him?
You could, but then if you ask me to damn him, there will be good cost. As there
Okay.
always is
What
when you
about
get the gods
Redrian's
involved.
name? Because he's not anything special, but
Yeah, I can watch my language.
He says beware and calling on the gods out of whim,
I can work on that.
because the gods are listening.
Do you think it would be a good thing to build up a base here and bring others?
Tempering Orcus's power in this realm would help. As he is, has his avatar in Rapanathak right now.
That weird magic where it got a little bit more powerful than I was used to. Any idea what happened there?
Yes, you got Orcus's attention by using his name so much.
Right, okay, I will convince. We will stop saying. Can I call him that pig?
I'm sure that will work.
Excellent. Cool, thank you. Is there anything you might be able to tell us that can help us, or...
He does say that the druid has a legitimate beef, and her name is Drusila.
Drusila?
Literally.
Legitimate beef with Orcus, or legitimate beef with Genric?
Legitimate beef with the person now known as Genric.
Okay.
Drusilla the name I gave you? Because I can't remember.
No, that's actually the name of the module.
Oh, okay.
Works well. Because that might just be the name she tells everyone.
I will try to get Genric to deal with things with more finesse and appreciation of his past actions.
He wholeheartedly agrees with your heroic act of intent behind that.
Yeah,
And he emphasizes the heroic.
I might have to beat him a bit. You don't have a problem with that, right?
There is a pause. He cannot condone violence in a relationship.
I'm not in a relationship with that guy.
Yes, but it's about a relationship.
Okay. Can I scare him with my hound?
You sort of get a mental shrug. As long as it's not violent.
Does damage.
Mental anguish. Different thing that's someone else's domain.
You probably would have learned by now that if Genric sees a dog, he tries to pat it. He doesn't care if
Are
it
you
growls at
trying
him.
to pat my Feyhound?
Probably.
I
I've
haven't
given
told it
Genric
to
a lot
leave
of
you
my
alone.
personality traits of, ooh, a dog.
I haven't told you to leave it alone. I haven't told him to leave you alone.
Well, hey, he hasn't tried to pat horse for a while.
Yes, that may have been some of the time reverses.
What's your armor class?
A good question. What did you roll?
What?
I got us. 20.
Yeah, that hits.
Nine piercing damage.
Oh no, not nine.
I mean, it's a dog,
Nine,
but it
nine.
bites you.
He's still got 3 things to save up on. He can change 3 form.
No, I used one to summon the wildfire spirit.
And I'm sure whatever bites him he can turn into.
If I kill it, I can absorb its soul and take on its powers.
Ah.
I think.
It's
Yes.
familiar.
Yeah.
Kill my dog, and I am going to shatter you with lightning.
Don't worry, I do that myself.
I use lightning, not fire.
What's his lightning if not just fancy fire?
Oh,
that'd be
I'm not wrong.
Yeah. I thanked Zerchev and the communion. I think I put some food that I have, something that I've foraged, next to Drusila, and leave a note saying, if you wake up and need something from us, please let us know. Otherwise, we will leave you in peace to rest. Thank you very much for your efforts.
Doesn't speak.
No, I'm just putting it next to him. Then I go out. Who do I find first?
Okay, walking outside, you see a rather happy dog licking its lips.
What did he do to you?
Just looks at him.
What did you do to my dog?
He bit me. I was just writing my name on the wall.
And
Good
growls
boy.
at him.
Good boy.
Haven't you
No more
learned?
rat snacks for you.
I pull out, am I finding boars in the forest or am I finding other things?
At the moment, you're been finding a lot of frozen animals in the forest.
I pull out a piece of frozen animal that I have defrosted and throw at it. My dog's name, by the way, is Pacifier. So I throw it at Pacifier. And he will catch it in midair
Happily does so.
and then turns and looks at Genrick. So I had a chat with Zerchev,
Is that?
my god.
Are you saying that, or he is your god?
He is my god.
Okay.
Um,
I thought it was Orcus. Are you sure it's not Orcus? Are
Stop,
you sure
no,
it's
stop, no. I
A-
wish
a-
I had a spell to just shut you
As
up.
he gets out the third name, you hear a bell ring.
You
And his
should.
name crumbles up on the mountainside.
Aww.
And in place of it is the word Orcus.
Fix that.
I can't. I run out of spell slots. I was gonna do Mount Rushmore above it.
I have just learned that by saying the pig's name, we give him more power and draw attention to him.
Who's the pig?
Our quarry.
My wife?
No.
No, she's not our quarry. By the way, not today. By the way, your wife's name is Drusila.
Bells ring.
The
Unlock.
same bells.
In your head this time. It's more of that light switch going off, and yes, the name does strike a chord. Not as well as Merc did, but it still struck a chord.
Yeah. That's a weird name. Sounds like a sea monster.
If you don't wipe that off the cliff tomorrow, it's not Drusila you're going to have to worry about.
As you see inside the keep, everywhere that Genrick had written his name, it now has the symbol of Orcus.
Genrick,
Who's that?
you
No, apparently that's not my name.
fix this.
I can't.
You can. You can do
I am not
stone
spending.
shape or stone form.
I am not spending another
hammer and
week.
chisel.
Yeah.
I am not spending another week fixing this. Fix it.
I mean, technically I can fix it all in a day.
I
Do
start to rise and lightning starts sparking off me. Fix it.
I set myself on fire.
What the hell?
Which is just non-fancy lightning.
Exactly.
I can do that trick too.
Okay.
But
Do a
is Genrick
wisdom save.
likely to be trying to get himself killed?
Or trying to protect
Maybe.
himself, who knows?
Do a wisdom save.
Yeah, also going back in the bag.
I think your dice are listening to you.
Maybe.
Your dice are judging you.
So if my
Yeah, no.
if my battle him is still
you
in place,
do.
you get an expert die on wisdom save.
Is your
So
more than a
that'd be
round?
D4.
You'd be spending. Five.
Okay. Yep.
So you take 12 psychic damage, and you are frightened of Vastal Fur.
What?
The Festal for the.
My dog.
Yeah, I know that, but why is it coming from the dog?
The dog has an ability called Terrifying Howl.
Oh.
As it howls in your face, much like your wife trumpeted
Trumpeted.
in your face. This time it was a little more effective.
Oh.
Mainly because, well, you've had that trumpet in your face so many times in your past.
And how close would you say your dog is to me right now?
I mean, it's a howl. He doesn't have to be that close to you.
I'm just asking, just in case.
So in case you can, burn him.
Yeah.
Damage my dog, and I will damage you.
It's a familiar, you can just bring him back.
Damage my dog, and I will damage you.
Your dog hit me first. That's self-defense.
Damage my dog, and I will damage you.
Has it been less than an hour?
It has been less than an hour.
Okay. I still have that with me.
What?
Your spirit?
Yeah.
Yes. Your spirit is still with you.
Fix the walls.
I can't do it today. I already told you that.
You better figure out how to at least start. I want to see some progress before dinner, or I'm not giving you any. And I will inform the chef that he shouldn't either. All you'll be able to find, if you can find them, is your beloved rats.
Rats are already all dead.
Well, you can eat them.
How's that any different to what we've been doing for the last, 3 months?
I don't use rats in my... I did use
We've
the
been
Arya
cooking rats
rats.
whenever we're on the road.
No, we haven't.
He has been.
I've been hunting and
The chef
foraging.
has as well.
He's been cooking my food.
And he's been doing rats as well.
Not often. We did have rat burgers in the town, but that's the only time he's cooked rats. Fix it. And I turn and walk away and try to find Dimitri, Trellin, or Merc.
Okay, so each of you can now make a perception roll. Running out of days.
Going to put
quickly.
Dimitri in the library.
24.
Dimitri, no, because he's inside in the library.
No. Happy that.
Perception?
Yeah.
Perception.
If it's based on, if you got a bonus for sound, that will help.
I don't think I have a bonus for sound.
Wisdom,
I think that was
unless
my
you
next
have the
level up.
alert feat.
Nah,
So I rolled a 14, my passive is 21.
27.
I will go with the 14, because at the moment there is a lot of stuff happening.
We're in the forest, so I have +5.
Right, no, 16.
No, I don't. My passive perception increases by 2. Would I just... my passive perception catch it? No. Damn it.
So I've got
Actually,
27.
I've got rank 5 in perception. Why do I only have 1 specialization? So I roll with advantage. Sorry. 17, 21, 28, 29.
29, 27, how about
24.
24, and it was 14?
That was 16.
16. Okay, so at this stage it's only Genric and Dimitri who aren't paying any attention, but the rest of you start to hear a squeaking noise that is something you guys haven't really heard before coming from Drizzle's card.
So I have expertise in land vehicles. Does it a squeaky sound that I would have ever heard from like a squeak wheel or none?
Doesn't sound like a normal thing. And it's sort of setting the three of your hair up on end. As you see the back of the card start to bulge out.
I've felt fiend from the cart before. Studied adversities are fiend, and I have threat identification of things, which basically gives me shape changes, devils, and demons. Which really attacks doesn't really help with that. But I have I have specialization. If I make a nature roll, I have specialization in, I'm going to remember this, Fey and Beast Law, which isn't Fiends, but it's Fey.
At this stage I'm telling you what's happening. Would you like to make an initiative roll?
I want to make a nature check, but okay.
If you want to do a nature check, you're going to have to do an initiative roll first.
As Hildred is walking away from Ganrick, he'll
20
himself at second level.
He will.
Cure wounds himself for 20 points because his wildfire script isn't bonus.
Could I use survival for my initiative this time?
Sure.
Excellent. That gives me advantage.
I'm going to assume I can't use perception if I'm rolling. I don't see it coming.
Advantage was so useful. 20.
Okay. What did Jedrick get?
Question.
What did Dimitri get? Because it'll come in handy when he finds out.
You want initiative?
Yeah.
Where were we? 17.
Canberra does have the attentive.
20, 34.
Can't be surprised unless unconscious. If that
Okay.
matters.
And what is Mercs?
7.
It should also give you a bonus to initiative.
Yeah.
It's down there.
And what is
Oh
Trellan's?
20.
Okay. So, Genric, you're happy. Do you go off into the forest or into the cave to talk to Dimitri?
Yeah.
Or to find food? Okay, so yes. You wander off into there. Dimitri is there when Genric wanders in.
Somebody wrote Orcus all over the fort.
Stop it!
Okay.
Does it carry over?
It would be at 4 now.
Jesus. Well, it's sort of like saying Beetlejuice. Okay, so as the rest of you hear the metal sound get worse and worse as you see a large form crawling out of the back of the wagon with flames dripping out everywhere.
Jeez. What now?
Looking very much like a winged pig.
So is it Drusila?
Doesn't look like Drizzle.
Okay.
Carrying a skull popped staff.
And at this point here it is Hilderon's go. Would you like to do your identify or just act?
Oh, you're acting.
Okay.
I am going to. Am I close? Like, how far away from me?
You would probably be about, I would put it about 40 feet away from you.
Okay. If it's what they think it is, I have a +2 to attacks because I have studied adversary and the threat identification.
What is it?
I think it's a devil swine.
I think it's Orcus.
I'm gonna throw something at you.
That wasn't Ganrick speaking. He doesn't know what's going on.
I know.
Yeah, full fairness, you didn't stop him when he was saying it.
Trying to figure out if I've got. You know what? Doesn't use any action. I'm going to use another exertion point. And I'm going to do electrifying dash.
I just realised I didn't put any of the microphones out properly today.
Oh no,
That's
I
how
didn't
distracted
hear
I've
me say
been.
Orcus
Oh,
like
no,
7 times.
They would have heard that.
Yeah, I'm going to use electrifying dash. It gives me extra speed. So my
It's
speed
only
increases
Dimitri
by.
that is interested, and he's talking about himself.
Well, he can still hear us, which is good. It's just that it would be a lot clearer for the recording later on.
My speed increases by 20 feet.
Mm.
And at the end of my turn, if I have been within 5 feet of anything, it has to make a dex save or take lightning damage. Or half as much if they make a dex save. So I'm going to run up to them using no action. It'll use my movement to get to them, but I still have 10 feet of movement if I want. And I am going to slash at it twice. So I have... Would it be matter earth or fire based?
Looking at it, you're thinking it is hard to tell if you haven't identified it. It's still dripping with whatever it came through with.
I'm just wondering if I get my bane damage or not.
You're not sure.
Okay. I can make 3 attacks, can't I? I can make bonus action attack and 2 attacks on my main.
Have you used a
because
bonus
I'm dual
action?
wielding? No.
Okay, then you should be able to use a bonus action, yes, to make an attack with your other weapon.
Okay, so
And you normally get 2 attacks?
yeah, I got
Then
extra
yes,
attack.
You can get 3 attacks.
Okay. My scimitar of seasons. 27 on both.
Okay.
Plus 2, so 29.
They will both be a hit.
Okay. Let me just check. Attack rolls. And sorry, I'm just checking. I get a +1 to damage, and I get advantage on it, if it's what I think it is.
What do you think it is?
A fiend at the very least.
Then you get advantage.
Okay, let's see if I can do better than what I rolled. Nope. Oh, no, I can. On one of them. So one of them is a
29, 30.
30, was 3 higher, so
I think that'd be about 31 or something.
31 or something. It wasn't a crit, which is what I was after. That's 7 plus 12, 19 thunder damage. And the second one, because... Actually, hang on, let me check something. Sorry. Got way too many feats. No, I don't. I have lots of feats.
Well, the odd edges have way too many. We could always reduce them.
No, please. I'm good. I'm very good.
I'm over here not using about half of them because I forgot to write them down. Like that 6th level spell I have, I can just
Yeah,
do that.
I'll leave
because
it
it's
for
my
now.
destiny.
So that was 19 damage.
It was 19 damage. Yes.
11 plus 12 is 23 damage. And then hitting with my Norse scimitar. $18.
18 will not hit.
Okay. And I stay within reach. And it takes... So it needs a dex save.
Okay. Uh, 22.
Yeah, it takes half, so it takes one point of lightning damage.
Okay. Doesn't seem to affect it.
Okay. But thunder did.
The thunder did, yes.
Lightning is just fancy fire.
Trella. We're seeing this large creatures crawl out of the back of Razzle's tower.
Okay.
After someone had...
Hang on. Sorry, I just realised another thing. The second attack, it's below max HP by the second attack, yeah?
Yes.
So I do an extra damage dice. So an extra 2 damage.
Okay, so Trella.
So can I make sure that Rhiannon isn't in my line of fire when I shoot?
It is a,
Technically, you're still on the car, but you said you never got off.
and it is
I-
quite a large
I-
creature.
I can move 55 feet, or with one extra key point, that's an extra 55 feet.
Normal carpet.
To get the extra movement, you have to be off the carpet.
So if you're on the carpet, movement rate around if you're sitting on the carpet.
But you can
But
make the
either
carpet
way,
rise up
It
and
won't be in the line of fire.
Mm-mm. You're above.
you've got the high ground.
Can I lower myself
You can lower yourself, yes.
and then shoot it?
Yeah.
Okay. And I can use my bonus action?
You can use your bonus action, yes, unless of course you're using it to direct the carpet.
No, the 60 foot would be fine. Because I can use my chi point to Kenzai's shot and 25 and 22.
Okay, so yes, you do critically hit it.
Oh, maybe not. That might be 19.
19 does not make it.
Okay. Damn it. Alright. Two eight. So that's 80 damage. Because it's double damage.
Okay, you seem to hit it soundly.
Nice.
Which brings us to Mark.
Yes. I have a proficiency in the occult.
Mm-hmm.
Does that give me any insight into what the animal is?
Sure. Would you like to make an occult roll?
Yeah. 12, 16, and wisdom?
You can use wisdom.
21.
Okay. So while you're looking at it, you're going, oh crap, I have no idea what the hell that is, but you think it came from hell.
Fair call.
Or the abyss. Hard to tell. But someone has been calling out a demon lord's name recently.
So I'm going to move away to a safer distance,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, or after I get to a safer distance, I'd like to use Bardic Inspiration for Hildren.
Mm-hmm.
And what that does,
Gives me an extra D10.
it gives her an extra D10 of her choice, yep, which she has to just take at any time within the next 10 minutes.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, so Generic, you sort of hear the sound of combat outside. Maybe your wife has returned.
Possible. I'll go outside.
In the form of a pig. Spice it up.
Okay,
He never got corrected on who the pig is, but he might.
You step outside and you see a large creature drinking ooze standing next to Drussel's cart.
I did say
Is
that.
it on
You
fire?
can read that
No,
that way.
it's not.
So he probably wanted to assume that this thing would heal from taking fire damage.
You could.
Is that right, Kitty? Are you telling me not to do it?
That is a familiar, and
And I don't
Oh.
speak cat.
Is my hound still? My hound's still with me.
Yes, but he's sort of sitting back apprehensively where you're at.
And just to make sure before I add all of these extra effects on, it's been less than an hour since I cast my Wildfire Spirit, and less than 10 minutes since I set myself on fire.
That's correct.
Okay, so I have all of the bonuses.
Though there's probably a concern, Dimitri, as you walk into the library while on fire.
Yes. I was still on fire when I walked into the library. With a flaming ferret on my shoulders.
So, how much time did Dimitri have to notice that he was on fire walking into the library?
You haven't noticed yet.
About 6 seconds. He was only in there for like
Okay.
6 seconds.
So, suddenly there's a light source and suddenly it's gone and then you have a whiff of smoke.
Right, okay.
He touched all the books.
So what does he do as he steps out there?
So, how far away from him is it?
It would be about 60 feet from you.
Okay, so not in range of that part. Or that one. I'll just have good old... What? I thought I would have Firebolt. I don't have Firebolt. Interesting.
If this is
Well,
a devil's
you
wine, I
wizard
would know
cantrip
it
as opposed to a
immediately.
good cantrip.
Sorry, two people talking. What
Sorry.
was that?
If it's a devil's swine, I would know it immediately. Like
It's
it
not
is.
a devil's smite.
Okay, cool. Good, because they're tough.
Can't do that one. Ah, that one. I will do a Scorching Ray. So,
So how many beams are you doing?
it will be 3 beams.
And you're targeting it with all 3 beams. When you do most of your spell attacks, you have to pick all your targets before you determine the effects.
Yes, I will hit the ball with all 3 of them.
Okay, then you get 3 attack rolls.
Okay.
So only yourself?
1 at the dog. 2 at Oh no,
you have
I
my
missed.
voice ringing in your head. You damage my dog, I will damage you.
Your dog damaged me first, he deserves it.
Okay.
Okay.
How long does it take for frightened to wear off?
Normally you have to get out of line of sight of the person and you have to make effects.
So the first was a 29 to hit.
Versus a 29, that's a hit.
The second
But he
one
walked into the library, so it's...
was a 26 to hit.
And so because he walked into the library, it should have broken by now.
Cool.
And 26 is a hit.
And then the third one is a 20.
The 20 will just hit.
Okay. Now, scroll back down to Scorching Ray. So each hit will do 2d6 plus 1d8. Unless the other thing I have up also affects that. I don't think it does. I will do my Fire Destiny to ignite it, and I get an expertise dice.
Is Drake doing anything?
Not yet.
So I roll this. 17 for the first hit. I'm going to heal it a whole lot. $14 on the second hit. And 17 on the third hit.
So how much all
Good
17,
question.
14, 17. So 34, 48.
48. Okay.
Yeah, 48.
Okay, you don't believe your attacks were as damaging as you expected.
Okay. That does ignore resistance if that matters.
It does matter.
Okay.
Nice.
So what power lets you avoid the resistance?
Thing from my class, I think it was. Unless that is a feat that I gave my character before doing the extra feats that I gave to my character. I think that was something else I did.
I just asking because most of the time, very hard to overcome things resistance.
Yeah.
I think it was Elemental Adept.
Okay, you probably have been flying for quite some time.
I just-
It came up when we fought the
It applied when I
Yeah.
damaged Dimitri that one time.
Okay, so Dimitri, you hear the sound of flame and spells and yelling outside. Obviously, they're having a party without you.
What have they done this time?
And you turn around and there's after a glow of smoke in the room, as if someone had carried some sort of flaming object in here.
I'd say he probably heard Genrick say that somebody wrote Orcus all over the walls outside, but probably didn't hear it.
It's Dimitri, he probably wasn't paying attention.
That's right. And except sort of thing that if you shouted that that's true, it'd be much more concerned about the fire than anything you were saying. Well, we'll go and follow whatever source of fire was planned to come into the library or started to come to the library before obviously remembered itself. And
Okay, so walking out to the entrance, you stand beside, you walking towards the entrance, you see a flaming Genrick standing in the doorway. With his flaming ferret on his shoulder. And he seems to be gesturing outside. I'm sure he's doing those gun points.
How does he cast his Scorching Ray?
Like Roy Mustang snapping his fingers.
He might be putting out minor fires.
So, what is Dimitri doing?
Not to be fair, the pyromancy cantrip, the key is that he can up to put out the fire on Genrick.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because he hasn't seen Genrick do this before.
Okay, so you try it, and he dims slightly, but not that much.
Mm-hmm.
You realize it's more than just a burning effect.
Yeah. What's it was? Orcus. We'll go to the second cantrip and see if a bit more effort will get the fire.
Okay. Second cantrip just dims for a moment and then back to light again. Obviously, he is very resistant to being put out.
Dimitri, you're on fire. Let me put that out. I set Dimitri on fire.
Okay, so
Dimitri wasn't really concerned about Edric being on fire. It was just the idea of thinking it was interrupting his line of sight again.
Okay, so the creature outside the wagon stands up to its full height, which is about 10 feet tall, bellows, making Hilderin do a wisdom saving throw.
I feel like I've got something that gives me advantages to wisdom saving throw, but 21.
Okay, so you feel a feeling of dread wash over you, but hey, it's a peak thing, so. And then it goes to swing at you.
Okay.
Dimitri will try and take a free action and say, "What the hell's done now, Edric? Get out of the bloody way."
Just to make you feel better.
Did you just get a nat 20?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to use another exertion point and
Don't overexert yourself.
use the pain. This is only 3. I'm good. I'm going to use the pain. So when a creature makes a critical hit against me, I use my reaction to make an attack on them.
It doesn't work. It wasn't the creature's attack. As you see a blue claw come through its chest from behind.
Okay.
Friend.
Well,
Probably.
it was where it did hold an action until it attacked. And it declared an attack, so its attack goes off before the creature's attack does.
Excellent.
And
So it didn't land a critical hit, so I can't use my reaction.
Yes, which is why you can't have actually used it, because it wasn't attacking you.
Excellent.
The great land did critical hit
Yep.
on the pig.
Brilliant.
It did. And as the claw bursts through its chest, you see it start to shrivel up and fade. Not the claw, the creature.
I was hoping for a pork dinner.
I wouldn't trust that, mate.
Last time somebody ate something related to those, he turned into a werebore.
I do tend to, at the moment, if I go hunting, I tend to bring back.
Which does make you think it was a fiend of some kind, because you can't generally kill them on the primal plane, and when you do, they generally turn to goo. Rarely are they actually there.
Do I see Genrick on the wall?
Probably.
Do I see Genrick?
You do see
Genrick
is in the doorway to the keep.
If
So do I
Zenrik
see him?
notices Dimitri behind him, he will try to stay away from Dimitri, just because standing near him does do damage.
Do I see Genrick?
You do see Genrick, yes.
I turn around and yell,
Dimitri
I told you not
tell me anything.
to say the name!
Which name?
That pig's name!
Who is the pig?
Our quarry.
Your quarry.
It's up on the wall.
Could have done that the first time. I said it like 3 more times inside.
Everybody, do not say its name. It gains power and draws its attention to us.
Thank you for telling us this.
None
None of us knew that.
I, from now on,
I
will be
did.
referring to it as that pig.
Okay, so at this point I will give anyone who wants to identify what it was a religion roll.
Not my.
Might not be your expertise, but hey, you could always get lucky.
As I walk out, I'm just going to mold off any symbols I see.
I have,
because I can do that today. It's a cantrip.
You're going to
Mold earth. It's a cantrip.
yeah.
Just
Mold
fixes
earth,
it
okay, yeah.
I have
and make it look like my face.
specialization in fiends.
I rolled a 2.
You have no idea what it was.
That was a really big pig. Shame we didn't get to eat it.
There's a
9.
Also, not really sure what it is.
Does a proficiency in history help?
No.
No. I got 21 then.
I'm sure it'll make a
At
difference.
21, you still don't know what it was.
Just because I'm sure it'll
28.
make a very big difference, my total is 5.
Still doesn't know much.
28.
But, what about Dimitri?
Well, he never got to actually see the thing.
Well, you probably would have.
Get it in the way.
That's fair enough. Okay, so you recognize it as a Nelfeshni, which is a conglomeration of animal features: the body of an ape, the tusks of a boar, cloven hooves instead of feet, and feathered wings. And it is a known servant of Orcus.
Right.
Dimitri, can you secure the cart?
And it would also be something that could, if it got the jump of you, take out the whole party.
Dimitri,
As it hits as hard as even any of you. So imagine Martin going to Trell and going full town on someone, it would probably do the same thing.
Dimitri, could you secure the cart?
This is probably a good time to ask. Are your arrows like magic or anything?
I have expertise, and they do 5d8 damage plus 11.
And I'm assuming
And-
it's a magical bow.
And
at the
it's a
least.
magical bow with the magical quiver that lasts for endless arrows, so I can fire the same arrow, which gives it advantage on 20 or over.
Okay, so you won't be upset if I set your arrows on fire so for you to do extra damage.
Well,
His arrows are made from the tree of life, so
no. No, I don't want you to
even
do
you would be
that.
horrified at doing that.
Please don't.
Oh no, at least fire I hit the dog.
So I do have an alternate one, which is an unbreakable arrow, but it's not.
Do you throw fire
it's
at my
not
dog?
quite as good.
No.
Okay, so yes, you know this is a bad creature, and Dimitri's been asked to secure the cart. Does Dimitri secure the cart?
How much space is around the cart, and I could break access for the cart.
The Drake does allow you to get to the cart.
And can we start cutting it up and testing it?
There's nothing to cut up.
Oh,
It's just a pile of
Oh,
goo.
you okay?
oh, it's just a pile of goo. Rightio.
That's what fiends do. It's not actually dead, it's just returned to.
Right.
Its own plane.
And it knows where the doorway is, so it's probably on its way back.
Thus, secure the cart.
How?
Dimitri,
What does he do?
magic locks?
Oh, okay.
I don't know if he has the spell, but there are many spells that can.
Okay, so yes, you're at the cart. You do see that Drazel's locks are on the ground.
Can he do an alarm spell?
He can.
I can do an alarm spell.
So I don't know what that does.
Lets you know that something has come through the cart.
We want to
Well,
stop
there you
something
go.
coming through.
To make you will bend down and pick up the lock and lock the door.
Okay, you notice that the lock doesn't seem to have a way to close. But then again, it also doesn't have a keyhole.
Now, to make you pocket the lock there, they're coming to look at more interestingly later.
I'm sure Drazel will get it out of your stuff later.
And then, having not prepared arcane lock today, he'll aim to cast it very short.
Yep.
Need to cast the text. The ritual text, I should say. And 14.
Do you cast that at a higher level?
It's a total of 20 on the DC.
Okay, so you cast it at the base level then?
Okay.
You cast it at the base level then?
Yep. Okay.
Okay, so as you cast it, you see a lock appear, glowing in the place where Drusila normally puts his lock.
So this is a ritual. How long does it take Dimitri to do this?
A minute.
A minute? Okay.
Or it can fast cast it for an increase in 5 in the DC as a action.
And then, okay. You look around, okay, so what happened?
Somebody
Genric.
did warn us about something.
Genric happened.
You
Yes.
didn't warn me about the threats. Of
I
Yeah,
told
I
you not
did
to
all
mention
that.
that pig's name. I said
got the
that
first
name as you were saying it.
And what was Dimitri saying?
Sorry.
Okay, yeah, I noticed Henry come in and try to burn up the library, or start to come in. Lucky he turned around and went out again.
He's just walking around the walls, just putting pictures of his face on the wall.
Can he actually erase the name?
It'll take him a while. He can only do it 5 feet at a time.
It will take him a long time, and he did do them in big pictures of himself.
But it is not resisting the spell.
It is not, no.
Okay. So, update. I have news. His wife's name is
Drusila.
Drusila,
I have a wife.
Yes.
who is in contact with Zerchev. I'm liking her more and more.
Yeah.
Do not say that pig's name. Anybody. Particularly more than once. It will give him power and draw his attention to us. And we will get creatures like that thing that could have killed us all coming through. I turn to Drake and say in Draconic, "Thank you very much." Then turn back to the rest of them.
Drake goes back to guarding.
I have found Drazzle. He looks very tired and very weak.
Is there a way we can help him?
I asked Zerchev. He said we could let him rest. He indicated that the world has been saved by fixing time, by rewinding time for 30 times recently.
Okay.
From world-ending stuff. So he's very tired. If anybody has anything to do that they can do that can help with that, I left him some food and a note, but Zerchev didn't give me anything that I could do.
Maybe in a couple of levels, so I can.
So years from now.
Well, I don't know. Yeah. So.
Player talk. You could do something.
So timeless body can't be aged magically. So there's no way to give him that ability.
I have a similar thing like that, but it's at level 20.
Yeah.
And I have to go straight druid for it.
He's just very, very tired. Dimitri, didn't you know something about what happens to him when he turns back time?
No. That's it. Having, that was been going through that sort of thing multiple times before. Hey, it's all work.
Have you ever seen... I take them to the chapel. I say, "Come with me." I take them to the chapel. Trellin, Dimitri, have you ever seen him look like that?
No, I don't think we have. So I don't know what we can do for him. Except put a pillow under him.
I've left some food with him and left him a note.
Yeah.
I don't think it was brought up in game, but I think most the most amount of times that we've heard him do that is 10 times in a row. And he was begging the party to not make him do it again.
Yep.
This was 30.
Yeah.
And that wasn't
Who's
our
that
cause. So
I think it was a
Player
different
talk. Play it. Can I tell them? So the death of the librarian was foretold that when Drusila met him again,
Right.
he would die. The librarian, the day after we arrived, the librarian had basically the whole town, the whole clan had come together, and the librarian basically said, "Today is the day I die." Whether it is because of Drusila, whether it's me taking my own life, today is the day I die. What we found out after, when we discovered Drusila, was that if there was some instances where Drusila didn't show up, which would cause a paradox. There were some instances where things happened that he said something, that the librarian said something that triggered the end of the world, that gave more power to the master, that did all sorts of things. The librarian couldn't speak anything other than what was said in a book that Drusila had given him.
No, the book told him the outcomes of everything he said, except for one time. And that would be the last answer he would ever give.
And it was a very moving time. None of us knew the character for more than 2 sessions, and we were pretty much all in tears.
Okay.
But basically Drusila had to, not because of any of our actions, I don't think, but because this was such a momentous moment that had many possible horrible outcomes.
Yeah.
And
if the wrong question was asked and answered.
And if because Drusila's prophecy was when they meet again, he will die, Drusila had to be there. And if Drusila wasn't there, that creates a paradox and then he has to fix it.
Yeah.
So 30 times something bad happened that he had to fix. We also found out the reason why he had the book and the curse is that the knowledge that the archivist, the Myrdell clan have is so dangerous that it needs to be controlled.
And you can't divine what's in the library.
I tried to, my character tried to read the spines of the books, and all but one just blurred in front of me.
Right.
The library will not open until somebody picks up the book and the curse. So the library is now shut. Nobody can get in. And the person who picks up the book has to be the clan leader, and it's going to take years to figure out the new clan leader. Which is hopefully going to be the clan leader's son.
Which is so I'm the clan leader of
You're the champion.
The champion.
The champion is the warrior, advisor of the clan leader, and the one they all look up to save them.
Right.
So you're the Superman of your clan.
Well, yeah.
So Drusila is before us, looking pale. His usually sparkly scales are not sparkly.
Okay.
He is.
And so there's no helping him, really. Okay.
Well, the other group on Monday managed to cast a few restorations on him, greater restorations.
And greater restoration removes a level of fatigue or strife.
It's one or the other, and he has many levels of both.
Can we do that?
I only have enough to do it 3 times.
I don't have the power to do it.
I think I've got a bardic hand.
Actually, no, I think I got enough to do it 10 times. I wrote down how many I got. It's either 3 or 10.
Will this help? Serenade.
No, because that's just ignoring it for the period of the battle hymn. It's
we're
not healing
restoring
it. Yeah.
Useful if you're in a combat situation and you need someone to be at their best
Oh,
after
very
they push
useful in that.
themselves.
Yeah.
I have lesser restoration, but because I'm multi-classed, I'm only 6th level for a
I can do
cleric.
10 levels,
10.
So,
That's
but
awesome.
that's all of my dust. Like, I'll have none left afterwards.
what sort of dust is it?
Diamond dust. I have 1,000 gold worth of it.
How easy is it to get that?
You
Look
just
at
gotta
the
get
merchant.
I
diamonds.
spent 1,000 gold on it.
We have money left over in the party funds,
Yeah.
Let's put it all in.
and there's a gem guy over at the
Though I think
village.
you can only cast the spell 3 times a day.
At most. Unless I can do it short rest, wake up, do it again.
Normally
No,
you get
you'd
your
need a
spells
long
back
rest.
after a long rest.
Yeah. No, long rest, not short rest.
Okay,
I'm not a warlock.
Got one long rest per 24-hour period.
Yeah.
Well, one benefit of a long rest per 24-hour period.
So-
Yeah.
You can't stop me from taking naps.
Yes, I can't
everybody,
stop you, but yes.
everybody, what is the new rule?
Don't say the pig's name.
Don't say Drusilla's name.
Thank you.
So who
Because
brought the graffiti on the walls?
Orcus.
Jeez.
And you hear a bell ring outside.
I'm only on 5. I have one more.
Are you sure?
I think
How
so.
many other times have you said it today?
I said it 3 times there. I said it once to Dimitri inside. And
Didn't
now
you say
once
you
I-
said it 3 times to Dimitri inside?
Probably.
no, he said it once.
Just that I only said it once.
I'm keeping track. Do. Can I cast Sacred Flame on Genrick?
Yeah,
You
so
wanna,
I can
you
do
wanna
it.
try to burn him?
I can
It's
only
radiant.
I can only do it 2 more times today because I've used the 6th level spell slot.
It's up to you if you wish to do it, but someone's talking about throwing a spell at you.
How far away from you am I?
I have to be at least 10 feet. Because you're still on fire.
Which means I still have that effect.
You never said you changed.
Can I do Sleight of Hand and cast Sacred Flame?
That's
No, it's a VS.
Yeah. So it's
And he can't be
visual
surprised.
and
So-
has sounds.
yeah. And he can't be surprised.
And if you walk within 5 feet of me, you get set on fire.
Oh, I can do Sacred Flame from 60 feet.
Oh.
It's not a touch spell, it's a throw spell.
You're lucky I'm not doing Guiding Bolt. Because then I'd attack you a second time with advantage.
Really?
So can I do it?
I would say if you do it, we'll roll credits at that point. Because we are at 10:30 and Martin's about to be picked up.
Leave it on a cliffhanger.
Quick question, Martin.
Yep.
Do a dex
The
save.
graffiti on the walls,
Mm-hmm.
is that engraved into the walls or is that written on the walls?
It is stone shaped into those symbols.
Okay.
So
So,
not painted, not drawn, actual, looking like it's grown out of the rock itself.
Okay, you're going to attack me
yeah,
back.
okay. So, could I use
Yeah.
fabricate to reshape the wall
Just in case.
into normal stone walls?
Quite possibly. I'll have a quick look at the actual spell description. Which book is it?
We're going to talk about the idea of turning raw material into something.
It may not count as raw material.
Technically, it's still a pile of stone. It's an ordered pile of stone.
Sorry.
13.
Okay.
Okay, so it's no longer raw material, so it's not a component.
Okay.
Though were you to shatter it, then it would be raw material, and yes, you could do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the examples are a picture from a lump of clay, a bridge from a pile of lumber, or a group of trees, a rope from a patch of hemp.
Yeah, no, okay, I'm happy with that. That's why I was asking you the idea of, okay, well, yep. Technically, it's still material being turned into another form of material, but it was very close, so, yeah. Okay, idiot, stop, you're not much of an artist. Stop graffitiing things when you move them.
Take 14 radiant damage.
My
I'm
fire
like,
drops.
away.
I keep those ones.
Okay, so we'll do the response next session.
Oh.
But nobody gets counted.